Friends.
I know you mentioned it in the green room, right? Does
Yeah.
it have like something ridiculous?
So he has a amazing +0 in KD
Zero
difference,
KD.
but still a 120 rating, which is
That's what you call
incredibly impactful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the biggest discussions, to echo it for here, because the viewers weren't with us at breakfast when we were talking about it, is of course the big discussion generally is the meta and how overpowered the Silence M4 is and how overpowered that can make the CT sides. But yeah, people are really struggling, and I know that sometimes we talk about G2's T side or whatnot, but it's in general, it's an issue.
It is an issue, and I want the viewers out there to direct their attention to the red square that we have. And let me tell you what it means.
Yeah.
On their CT side, during this event, Spirit haven't won a single round in which they didn't get the entry kill. This is actually mind-blowing. 3 maps into the event, any 4v5 that Spirit had to suffer led to a round loss. Any of these entry duels is going to be massively impactful in that game if Spirit cannot get away from that one.
And you know, that is obviously a key point, is a stat that I've probably never seen in my life before, but
Don't even understand.
no, I don't really either. But so it's going to be very, very crucial. Patsy, obviously a very, very aggressive opper, so we're going to see how that pans out.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up on the other side Farley.
Sure.
Farley, who I think when we came into the RMR this year, it was like, okay, what is he going to be comparatively to Lucky? I think he has done his job and more. And what is interesting is his stats in opening duels, which could be incredibly important in this matchup specifically.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, I think on the CT side, he's basically 100% so far.
Yeah,
Every duel
everything's
he's been, exactly, everything he's been attempting has worked out. Now, I believe that the key for this matchup is going to be the T side. I think it's whatever team figures out how the hell to get some T-sided rounds on board and deals with all the other issues. For Astralis, of course, it's going to be dealing with Dexter and Patsy, and for Spirit, it's going to be dealing with Blamef. We've established that plenty of times. Whoever can actually get the ball running on the T side, maybe farm some of these rounds, I think they'll be in a prime position to get it.
Yeah, for me, I see some issues with the map pool for Spirit going in against Astralis. I think Astralis just needs a veto, does too, and basically I feel like they have the advantage almost on every map. So that's a big issue, but we haven't really seen much of Spirit other than Dust 2.
No, they've loved Dust 2. They've been great on it. In the RMR, they did qualify by playing Nuke against Anonymo, and Dexter said, don't ever do that versus us because we'll beat you on it. Devilwalk, I do want to pick your brain just a little bit on Farley specifically, because it was obviously someone you know very, very well. What have you thought of his evolution so far and the role that he's playing right now in this Astralis?
I think he's adapted well. I think there's definitely big differences from his old team and the squad that I was coaching with him compared to Astralis. They have a much more experienced in-game leader, much quicker with the responses, the calls, everything like that. They also have incredible players, but it's yeah. I think he still brings a lot of positivity, a lot of plays, and as we said, he had a 31% on the entry attempt on the CT side, so he is involved with a lot of playmaking on the CT side.
On our screen,
This guy.
quite simple. The best CT-sided player we have at the event, period.
What a nuisance.
1.81 rating on the CT side. For those of you who aren't exactly comfortable and used for the stats, that number doesn't make sense. 1.81 actually doesn't make sense. It's out of this world. He's obviously a huge nuisance, and if you're a Chopper, if you're a Spirit, then you must know that this is going to be something that you have to handle all through the series.
Yesterday, there was a big discussion between my two analysts that is about, okay, what do you do? Do you try and shut him down? Do you try and find him before he finds you so he can't get in your head? Devil didn't really agree. Maniac pitched it, and I believe it was tried, actually, versus.
Yeah, it was tried, but I think this time around, a difference maker could be the third player we see here right there, Dexter with the AWP. Devil will mention it, the second best T-sided player. If you can actually find a way to posture the AWP, to flash him in front of Blamef, maybe, just maybe you could punish the aggression. Maybe you could actually deal with it, because obviously the former opponents of Astralis couldn't make it work. They tried and it didn't work out, but maybe that'll actually work out this time around. As we have the video. Who's actually, is that Astralis right now?
No, that was a Spirit. I think he's our coach.
Oh, really? Maybe they're happy about the veto.
Let's see. So Inferno off the table from Spirit's side. Dust 2, I think a sigh of relief, because at the RMR sometimes we saw these higher rated teams still picking the best map of their opponents, so they're not taking that risk. An overpass for...
Oh, wow. Well, it was an
surprised?
option. We were discussing if they would go in with Vertigo or Overpass for Spirit, Ancients for Astralis.
I mean, they've put.
It's
They've been
a
putting in
good
the
map
work.
for them. I
They've been
think that's
putting
a
in the
good
work.
thing.
I think they've established through multiple officials now that they will pick Ancient. They'll play a good Ancient. It's been a deep work for Astralis, and now we ended up on Nuke. The former Astralis used to be extremely good on it. I still think they're figuring out how to play. But again, we talk about BlameF, and he's going to be a focal point if we ever get to that pistol.
Oh, absolutely. Astralis also love Ancient. We can't forget, we didn't even mention him, but Config can be a monster on that map as well. But let's focus in on our first one in Overpass. We talked about the strengths, right? We talked about Dexter. We talked about the double op setup and the fact that Patsy can go for those opening duels. How does that translate onto Overpass, and how do their strengths shine, or what will they have to shore up for Spirit?
I mean, for Spirit, if you look historically, they're a very, very B-heavy team.
Yeah.
There was a big game which was referenced a little bit as a meme before, where they went 15 rounds in a row B, and it was these situations like the 13th round. Surely they can't go B again, you know? And this treachery of Chopper always wanting to go B. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I'll take that deal. I'll sign the lease of only playing B at 2 conditions. The first one is that your B execute is so airtight that it doesn't even matter if Astralis read it and there are 4 people, and that's not that easy. And the second condition is that you do it early on in the rounds. Because if you have Config, if you allow Config to just stay in that connector area, if you allow BlameF to just eat away all the map control on the A side, and you wait, the trap is just slowly going to close on your leg, and that's it. The Grizzly's coming for you.
Yeah, we're going to just summarize it again. When they're in a 4v5 position, they don't win the round for Spirit, so you can't let that happen. And especially versus Astralis, that's going to be incredibly difficult. What an opportunity for both Spirit and for Astralis. It would be monumental if they make it to the Legends stage here. So let's get into our first best of 3 with our casters.
Good morning, Counter-Strike gamers. Have we got a treat for you? I love that desk. I feel so equipped. I've got so many numbers just floating around my brain right now. I'm going to try and keep track of them. Fortunately, I've got Chad Sponge Birchall with me. You've got it all in your magic book.
And a notebook, yeah, to keep track of all those magic numbers. But I'm excited to keep track of how Spirit are going to look on a map that isn't Dust 2.
Right.
So this is fun. Challenger stage, a map that they haven't played. Well, they've only played Dust 2, so definitely a map they haven't played just yet out the
3
gates.
games, day 3, finally something that's not Dust 2.
And best of 3s for both of these teams now as well. So starting to get into what should be the more favorable territory for Astralis, right? This team coming in are the favorites over Spirit, who are one of these squads who have, I guess, impressed all of us to even be here, right? It's a team with some of these more unknown quantities. We got to do Patsy the other day. Well, we watched them against G2, right? And he was looking phenomenal on that CT side with the AWP. Let's see if he can be as disruptive as that secondary AWP this time round. But we're going to get this one underway with Spirit starting on the T side. Astralis on the defense of Overpass, and well, some of those numbers about these CT side players, I guess we'll turn our attention to BlameF early as we have a 4-man B lean. Zipac's boosted up, push coming on through, and first contact taken, first bullet fired, and Magic's in the dirt.
Yeah, now they are already turning attention here. Oh, Config considered it, but so far not a peep out of them. Blame considers Monster completely clear. You can see that Chopper is on his way back. No information but sound cues and shots. So that information will be relayed. Config blind as a bat, and now out. 4 on 4. Spirit. Smoke towards the heaven side. Glaive will have Zip to at least relay information. A setup very strong and potent for this, but it's Glocks at range. It's not going to be easy. You do have Dexter's P250. He does nothing with it. Chopper is another casualty now for Spirit as 3, no 2, 1. It's running out of time, running out of heads as they all get popped. And you can hear the Danes are going to be happy with that one, trying to get the mojo flowing early this morning. As, I mean, they have got an opportunity to lock in for the next stage of competition.
Well, and straight in with the technical timeout.
Yeah.
So, as per the script around here, Blame's going to have an issue or two that's going to be sorted out. You can see, likely, an audio issue there, everybody. But that's a great way to get the day underway for the Danish side. And I have been liking the progression of Astralis upwards, right? Early on, we saw maybe some conflicts in roles and positions, but they've been able to settle into something that now is resembling quite a strong side here. Now, there's still the win conditions of Blame playing a strong game and Config if he can catch fire. But I think Farley here as an upgrade of a Lucky is nice to see, and we'll actually get to see how much he can truly develop under this team.
It is kind of, it is the perfect stat to bring up when if ever one of your friends, I'm talking to the guys at home here. One of your friends says bait F, and he's one of those guys that keeps spamming bait F in the chat. You just say he's the highest rated CT player at the major currently.
Yeah, look, I do prefer Blame F when he's not in-game leading and he's actually getting used and moved around the board by Glaive, the mastermind in the middle of the screen right here. Right, I think that it takes that out of Blame's even thought process, right? He can chip in as that secondary in-game leader assist in that manner, but having him be able to focus on his crosshair a little bit more and get put in some of these positions, they can actually set him up because as an individual, he is an absolute beast. There's no doubt about it. And I think that this, alleviates a bit of the problems. Previously, when you look at complexity, it was an international team. He's having an in-game lead. I think he was the best player in that team, right, as well. So trying to set himself up for success. He's showing to be the best player in this team as well. Right. But I think there's, a little bit more respect to the likes of like the Glaive and the Zipex of the world for what they've been able to achieve with Danes as well, back to native language as a conversation. So there's lots of positives here. Yeah,
and you want to talk positives. You got Spirit on the screen. And I mean, Matthew, of course, bringing up a little bit of a grudge. Spirit have been so close to deep runs on multiple occasions, multiple Tier 1 tournaments, even the majors themselves. And those adventures typically cut short by a big name. Admittedly, the name's different, both in Astralis and that of Spirit, but it's impressive to me that in the same kind of vein of Astralis, Spirit have been able to, once again, find new names, pull a Patsy, pull a Siren, and, wow, sounds like there is some action unfolding in the player
Imperial
area.
IHC game. Yeah, that one's going on. So that one's an elimination match over there. But yeah, just to dig back into what you were mentioning with Spirit, right? When we were casting them during the online realms and we had the rise of the CIS region, right? Spirit was one of those teams. And Magic's playing and streaming a lot, right? Dexter was a beast on the AWP. Mir in the mix. Now, Mir's not with the team. And I didn't think they would be able to recover this level of form without Mir. But to see them here and performing at this level, Siren, one of the newest names on the screen, he's been looking good. Magic's still, right? Boris the Butcher, as we donked him once upon a time. There's some exciting names as part of this team.
As a recap for you, you did just witness the pistol. If you just joined us, it was an Astralis win. Starting here on Overpass, a best of 3. And my God, did the map pool raise a brow or two? Ancient as a second. Looking forward to that one. That's Astralis' pick. Nuke, should we require it? But map 1, round 2. Zutritt verboten by the Molotov.
He's just going to be a full eco right here out of Spirit. We expect these rounds to play out very slow. Just baiting out that CT utility. A flash in the hands right now of Patsy to try and enable his teammates if there is an aggressive maneuver. And you can see Farley, he's flirting with danger right now. Pushed on up, does take a bit of a fight. The flash on over from Patsy is not going to do anything whatsoever. And it's going to send them actually packing all the way back now, returning towards the other side of the map. Glaive, he's going to have some action here.
Oh, and it's the SMG as well. Zip may steal a few from him. Got about 7 bullets. Might consider a reload. Config pulls out the nade at the opportune moment, and it is going to be the massacre. 3 for Config on that, and Zip takes the pair.
That's perfect. If you are going up against a full eco exactly like that, you want to make sure that you're destroying them, not dropping a body, not having to reinvest. Now, they can operate with these 2 SMGs on Config and Glaive. They can go for some water control. Maybe they want to push in towards Connector. The options are plentiful here to operate against Spirit's first buy, and it will be without the AWP in the hands of Dexter. Not going to opt to go for the Scout here, so it's going to be 4 AK-47s and Chopper into a Galil. The util is there to operate with these executes, and Config lobbing out an early monster smoke there as per tradition.
Siren does get across. The extinguish implies presence playground. Magic's, oh wow, he's brave. Smoke, flashes, and low HP. He will surely go down. Magic's lives on for a moment longer. Nade evade. And he's back, at least alive and kicking.
Yeah, well, both teams dissuaded from holding on to that territory. So in the dark now, information-wise, but that one plays out a little bit better for Astralis here. No pressure will be coming through the short position for some time. And because of that, Chopper going around the world now to group with his pack towards A. Siren and Dexter now met by the in-game leader as they crawl and take some territory back towards Fountain. Molly, flash, combo, and aggression. So this is now secured. The information game going back and forth, but now in the palm of Astralis' hands. They know that unlikely for this to be a B play anytime soon.
Yeah, nice to see Patsy. He's already managed to kind of divide and, I would say, conquer. A smoke in his face will shave time off of that progression.
They still have 2 smokes, a couple of flashes left over right now. Well, they did have 2 smokes.
God, Astralis have really got their finger on the pulse. The only, perhaps, deviation from that could be Chopper if he shows contact and takes Zip
That
out.
bloody train, Alex.
Oh, the train actually does obstruct. The Molotov does not stop Chopper with an
They're all
opener.
rotating.
Don't speak too soon. Bomb was Fountain, so it is just Farley at this point in time. Config has gone to go and support. A missed Molotov was all it took. Now starting to work it out, and Farley has taken down the first. The whole squad's here, and with 10 seconds, Spirit, fine margins here. Bombs down, surely the round as well. Farley making it look easy as he defends the site. Dexter gives a good go, but he is up the creek without the paddle, and will just hold on to that AK.
Easiest clutch of Zipex's life right there. Just staying alive, gets himself the 1vx over Dexter, but got a little bit dicey for a moment or two. That one kill drew a full rotation. Fortunately, Farley with some good form. Second highest rated player for Astralis so far in the event, just behind Blame. Well, not just behind Blame.
Yeah. The Farley stat was crazy as well. Have you ever seen that before? 100% success.
On the CT side,
His CT openings, he has not lost an opening duel, and he's taken 31% of them.
Yeah, which is very curious. And you add that to the amount that Blame takes as well. The two of them are the ones involved in a lot of these opening exchanges. That's crazy when you have somebody like Config in the team.
Yeah, well, he kind of, oh, where did Chopper's health just go? Already, Magix is, second guessing it, but Choppers should push through, and Blame will greet him with hot lead. 3 remaining for Spirit's Armored Tech 9s. Get over-invested for Dexter, of course, with a saved AK, 350 he's got to boast, and he hasn't got any teammates to facilitate. Surely he could get a frag out of this. Put Flame on his bottom, not to be. Astralis, they are looking fierce in our opening.
Yeah, great stuff here, but well, now because of that Dexter save, might be a moment or two, and unless there's a drop that can come on through to get that AWP in his hands, right? The Dusk was talking about it, bringing up the conversation about Dexter on the T side and openings. Well, that is really going to be facilitated on a map like Overpass with the AWP. It's his primary weapon. It's the weapon he's most well known for, but he will have to wait out another gun round or two before he can even purchase that, because there's not even one to scavenge. Astralis don't need it just yet. Double incendiaries every time. That will stall out this early play towards A. The extinguishing again, and Farley up over. And a bit of an off angle there.
Okay, well.
A bit more direct this time from Spirit. 4 of them already here.
Farley is going to fall away. Doesn't have the support of Blame as it currently stands. So a lot resting on his shoulders here. It's his restraint. And it's his responsibility. He's got long. He has to check that with cursory glance now, which is the gap as Patsy progresses. Gosh, he will have the shadow if they opt for the main toilet entrance. It's Patsy. Has impressed. Certainly on some of his CT maneuvers, and that is Farley completely.
Oh, just past
misses 2 of them. So there's 0 info for Astralis. He will have to say it. Oh, never mind. There's some steps. There's some pins. And now Blame looks to activate. Coming up from the stairs. Farley spots out one. Dexter's back is turned. And that should be his frag every day of the week. Farley trifling with trouble. Multiple targets, multiple avenues. And nicely handled onto the first. Magic's long and he's known. But the bomb now down. 3 from bankside. Farley behind enemy lines. He has the support of Blame. Is he going long? Yeah, Blame's going to flank the 2 long. Nice clear. They will not be expecting another. Can they round the corner in time? Wow, this is getting crazy. Just swings and roundabouts. Still util to be dropped, but nice clear from Glaive. What does that leave them with? Long, big fight. Siren does need to get that, and now already low. Magix has yet to frag. 3 Danes chasing him down, foaming at the mouth. Magix to try and cage them. He has to knock them off the bomb, and it's only the 1. It looked promising for a second. Astralis 5.
Well handled there, but very dicey. How many players did Spirit send out just to find Farley? Multiple members coming back from long to try and take that kill. And massive work from Farley there. Got the opening, converted the round. Beautiful stuff. Be keeping tabs on this throughout the day here. And
there is a... Sorry to talk over you. There is a balance, isn't there, between, like, he lets them go, and he's probably acknowledging it's possible, but it's the fact that he let them go that leads to him being such a nuisance in the mid-round.
Yeah, well, this is one of the things with Overpass. You think that you just kind of have to stop them at the wall, but no, it's about understanding as part of your defense where they can get through with what timings and then using that against them. But this is Blame. Hyper-aggressive, had a look, didn't see a lot, flash again, still called clear.
Lots of early T utility. That's 2 of their 5 smokes already deployed.
Still no AWP here on the T side for Spirit.
Yeah. Product of that saved AK, perhaps. Patsy down and out. Blame has got connector on lock. And if you can count on Blame to keep control of the connector of this map, it's really going to limit Spirit's options. Look how quick Siren is.
Well, with the timing right now, they have to know this is a possibility, right? A minute 13, it's more than possible at this point. So they have to be aware. They have to glance on over at some point. But
Farley
right now, it's not being accounted for.
Oh, Farley. Dead. Deleted by Siren, and he is looking elite. Config has to rotate through. This is a duel. Config down and out. Siren has got the sight. You can see his eyes light up wide. Zip confirms monsters clear, and the bomb will go down on A. What do you do with this one, Astralis? You've already 5 rounds to the good.
Very disconnected, and it doesn't look like they're starting to get a move on for this. Glaive clearing out towards B. Blame. This late lurk, if he could find Dexter, if he could take this pick, and Dexter's going to hear some footsteps now for sure.
Yeah, but they are so far away heading to T-spawn. I guess this is just for damage now, and Blame not ready for that. Well read. Dexter will post his 3rd frag, and Spirit will post their 1st round.
Getting it done without the AWP, right? I thought that that might be a big problem. We have spoken about this before with teams like Outsiders when they go for a lot of these saves early, and then it takes a while to get James the AWP and get the full buys out. But here for Spirit, getting it done with the 5 rifles. Chopper has an AWP in his hands right now.
Yeah, and I was impressed as well to see that, it's unlikely in many people's mind that it's going to be the AWPer that has the highest T rating for Spirit.
But the thing is, in this CT side of meta that we definitely do have, actually, I do believe coming into Overpass today, it was the only map so far at the major that had a higher percentage of T rounds won. But I think it was like 50.5%, right?
But it's Overpass.
Yeah,
of all the maps.
Yeah, and I thought that was a little bit odd to see in this very CT side of meta. I don't know how that's going to correlate exactly to a match like this. We have seen Astralis play it once against MIBR yesterday, 16-13 victory.
But you can see that, I mean, they are playing it by the book, and by they, of course, referring to the Danes, just taking that early info when it's free, and they've got it, so, of course, does set Magix into somewhat of a slow crawl B.
Different setup immediately here, though. 3 towards A from Astralis now, and as you mentioned, yeah, they're turning their attention towards B right now. So Spirit have actually called Astralis into a position where they are on the heading towards the weaker bomb site.
Yeah, this is perfect. If you can
avoid
pull this
the train.
off, avoid the train this time. Nose flash, Heaven smoke. Look how blind he is. A reaction strong, and it does seem like they're cancelling it. Was it really as simple as the flames?
A bit of utility just gets on out, and it stalls them out completely here, but a double pump possible. They have the util. Well, they're lacking the smoke to do this again.
It's pulled config back. The Heaven smoke was thrown, and now they're coming in with a second pump. Interesting. Zip, it's a powerful angle, turns the flash easy. The second, he eats it up. Oh, and they keep coming. Isolating, but config, the only one with vision, is good for 2. Nice on the AK from up down. Glaive and Zip are low in the sight, and that shadow should be the end of Zip. Hunted down and still stands his ground. Nice shutdown from Magix.
But look at this from Glaive. During all of this, he's pushed past. He's made it towards Monster. He's
If he
behind
can
them and
just
they don't
survive.
know. They have no idea where he is.
Just survive. Magix is just a sitting duck. To be plucked. Dexter, though. Wow, look at the restraint out of Blame. Magix is dead, man. And that should make Dexter's round almost impossible. Time alone, his worst enemy. He's going to lose the AWP. He doesn't even get to fire a bullet of it, Chad. Horrible scenes for Spirit, and immediately slapped back down into submission.
Yeah, great work from Config right there, because he rotates over, and then it's silent, so he's doubting that rotation. Still gets 2 kills from the Heavens there. And Glaive, sure, it looks like he's kind of selling Zipex out in that entire situation. He's securing the round. Right, that position that he pushed on into right there. Whoa, that first one there, see you later, Patsy, and the second was beautiful too.
But and this is all a product of this double pump. I don't know. You know, it's 1.5, not necessarily a full double, but the smoke fades. Config's had all of the bells and whistles to rotate, and he's got a nice shooting gallery onto 2. It seems a bit mismanaged.
Yeah, I think lacking that utility, not being able to commit because of the counter utility, and now into, well, a lighter upgrade for Chopper, a Galil for Magix, and an AWP again back towards B. Some early flak damage done. They do have some space, and Glaive ready to take a fight.
Talking a lot here, and his suspicions are at least acknowledged. So they're pushing through this. Look at Magix. Wow, that's fast. 90 seconds, and they're already going down. 2 bodies drop on the site. It's only Config. Can he do it again? He did manage to find 2 on the defense. Siren to clear. Or maybe they'll assume it is clear. You hear one towards short. Magix is tucked watching Heaven. Chopper staring at the potential on ABC. This was a 3v5. Do Astralis really have the means? Nice engagement onto Patsy, but he doesn't take too much of a beating. Farley, fully invested, not too interested, I would imagine.
Trying to get him out here. I think Farley has a smoke to try and deploy to get Config out. They are going to save.
Go!
Oh. Yeah, okay, a little bit of damage done, but they will get him on out alive, so keeping Config with a weapon up. That's going to be the AWP and M4 and an AK carried on through. The buy possible now. Blame can drop. Farley can do exactly the same, and they're going to be looking good for another gun round here, but Spirit with a bit more quickness to their play.
It's such a big win to not only be able to throw a pacey play straight after a harrowing round loss, but to win it so convincingly, it is going to keep Astralis' defenders paranoid that that can work. That is a possibility, and that util won't be so restrained in dropping.
Yeah, so now it would be a question if Astralis want to change things up by playing heavier in connector to get that crossfire going on between Shaw and connector. It gives the T's a couple more things to worry about, but doesn't look like they're going back towards that B play immediately. We're onto a default spread, a couple of quick flashes out to deny Farley vision. He will take a pot shot. That is going to confirm his location, and Dexter one back through is helping piece the puzzle together for both teams. Door blown off. Farley now posted up long and might have a duel against two. Or misses, has to drop off and pops a bit of a dink on the way down. Must have been through the wall right there, only to 76 points of health.
No, it was the bulletproof petunias.
Ah, I see.
You've got to watch out for them. There's a couple of them on the map.
Special type of fertilizer.
Yeah. Let's see what Config's off angle's got for him. It should be an easy tap. Oh, it's a lovely play from Config. He is already looking on his A game today.
Oh, coming through for another here.
He just wants to fight. Anybody willing to put themselves in a duel with him, he will greet them with a smile and a spray. Smoke down from Astralis. How many more have we got them? Two, Farley and Blame, typically your A players.
Seems right now that Spirit are trying to pull them around, right? Make sure that Astralis are constantly rotating because they've just put pressure on A, pushed the AWPer back, and then tried to slink through Monster to find a kill. Now, they were denied that space, but trading back into 1-for-1, 4-on-4, 35 seconds, and heading towards A, where there's a bit of a stack right now from Astralis. Do they stick to the guns, or do they drop on back?
No one's going to force him to. No one's going to give him presence onto Blame's position. They can count on him, and so Glaive, he is calling a great game here. The rotates, they've been on the money. 20 seconds, I'd be nervous. Patsy isn't. Breaks in. Siren from long still, and Farley knows there was a presence there. Hanging out on Optimus. 3 bodies cross into the site. He should be able to deny into the bottom of Chopper. Patsy, however, should enable a plant. Just in the nick of time.
Blame flank.
Yes, the two of them. The unstoppable force, the immovable object, and now just the one. Blame the boulder. 11 and 3. Looking to go 1v3. Patsy and Dexter remaining. And okay, now the 1v1, it gets scary. He's got smoke kit. Doesn't expect toilets. Considers Optimus. He's so focused on truck, but Dexter's not having any info during all of this. Time will become a priority. Hasn't dropped the smoke. So convinced. A bit of a misread here from Blame. Can he recover? I don't know if there's time now. He really doesn't have a clue. Looking the wrong way, and nice close from Dexter to keep Spirit in it.
Must have been a miscomm there.
Maybe.
The fact that he's so glued to that position, I'm not sure what piece of information we missed throughout all the flurry, because we were chopping and changing through all of that fire, and I suppose there must have been some info going the wrong way right there. So this is it. Glaive gets spotted on up on the push on through. Patsy up and over. Patsy takes down Config, and I'm not sure why it was so glued on in of the Dexter towards
Patsy
truck.
pick up an open fire shot? You just saw
that
him pick it up.
That could have been it. Yeah, that could have been the devil in the detail right there.
Ugh.
Well, either way,
Yes.
Spirit have done a great job. They've humbled Astralis right now, put them down towards just a couple of pistols, and when I say a couple, a Deagle and a Scout. It's a pretty long pistol in Config's hand, I imagine.
Pretty expensive too. So they just want to go before any stacks can occur. Of course, there could be one off the call, off the break, but it does seem like they've got their intentions ironed out. Drop some mollies. Like a Saturday night, and ooh, Glaive. Oh no, Spirit. Spirit cannot lose this round. Saved by the Glock. It's Dexter to finish him off, but damn threatening and imposing presence with nothing more than the starter pistol.
May as well try and do a bit more damage here if you're Astralis. You've got this Deagle. Maybe try and boost Blame up, boost Config up with the Scout, one of the two.
Yeah, that's the play, isn't it? Maybe.
Yeah, see if you can find a fight or just swing with the USP, but no, he's going to be a kill onto Dexter. 2v3 situation. Another one from Config.
What was that? The Dane does it and Blame finishes. Astralis will take it with a single Scout, a Desert Eagle. That is a disaster for the Spirit. Oh, they were just jostled for control. A 1v1 goes their way, and then they fumble.
Glaive gets 2 there with the USB on the way in. It looked perfect, didn't it? They're not even considering that position whatsoever. So glued towards Monster. You feel like Dex has done enough. They have the sight, and then this happens.
Second shot They might want to take a timeout. That's going to be under your skin.
That would have been a great opportunity right now to really lay down a couple of extra T rounds. It would have been a fourth guaranteed. And we know how hard T rounds in this current meta are to come by. So that one could come back to haunt them here.
Yeah. Bit of a... Can't call it an unforced area. It does take some good clicks out of the Astralis boys. Patsy whittled away through the board. Oh my god, not even whittled away at. He's been carved into 13 HP. And Glaive's got more where that came from. This util will force this boost off. Guys, extinguish. Dexter, however, worth noting, has found an opening into the site. Barrel's still a threat, and he has to pull the plug on that. Magix, however, builds onto it. It's Blame from the underpass, finally silenced by Magix, kept to just the one. Spirit completely undaunted by the fumble in the previous.
Well, they know that Farley and Blame are dead, and they're traditionally the A holders, so they're trying to turn tail. But is it a fake right now? They're sending the feeler of config forward. He could catch them all off guard here.
Oh, they're not staring at it. Nice work from Siren. Addresses the issue, and Magix will confirm where that last lingers. You might hear him there. Glaive long, they say.
Yeah, lots of talking right now from Magix here, so 100% confirmed. It might even get the kill too. On the flank, Glaive's already made it halfway around the world.
Having a picnic, talking that one out. Hello?
4x3.
Yeah. You actually got 4x3.
Well, wouldn't be the first time.
What is it, 70 or 80% of the pros are playing 4x3 still?
Yeah, look, I wanna have a conversation about it, but apparently this is what the best players in the world do, other than Rops and Kinder, and Chopper gets the kill. So there you have it. It will be the fourth. It wasn't against the Eco. They get it done the hard way against the gun round right there. And if I do believe we've been calculating our numbers correctly, that is the first time Farley has died as an opening kill on the CT side over 3.5 maps.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, yeah, good catch. Good catch. Chad is switched on, folks. Yeah, the 4x3 thing, I mean, I think that should be, you know, screw Twitter. That should be, we should call it getting ratioed.
Yeah, actually.
You got ratioed hard, bro.
Yeah, okay, all right, I'm with you. We can use the cool lingo of the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That comment is definitely not mid, Alex.
It will upset people so hard. Like, no one asked, get ratioed. Glaive, change to 16/9.
Yeah, take the L.
Yeah, take the L.
Are we doing it right, guys? Let us know. I'm trying to keep up with it. Over there on the B stream, IHC taking on Imperial. I do believe the first map of play is Mirage, IHC's choice. Second map, they will be moving into an overpass and Inferno as the third if they do need it. That's the Mongolian side taking on the Brazilian Hopes and Dreams. However, Furia, I think maybe they should take that mantle. They're already in the Legend stage and they look amazing. Love me some Furia action. But look at this, back down towards the pistols once more. Blame with an M4. Now, we can't count them out of a round like this. We've already seen it go in their favor. At least, for Spirit, they're heading towards A this time round.
You can see this death pack. Slightly delayed, 2 prongs to this assault. You're holding that potential long flank. You don't want anyone arriving in party as you set up your nades in toilet, and they will just converge onto what is currently a 3-man stacked site. Smokes are in the air, information relayed, deep smoke. Here. And the M4 has made it to long. So Astralis, again, consistently in the right place. It's a question of putting your crosshair there as well. Farley could be another opening CT death here. And he is back-to-back Farley stat. Taking a beating, as is Astralis. Looks good for the 5th here. Spirit really have recovered this T half. And that's going to be starting to feel good. You can shake it off, in the words of Taylor Swift. And come in with a solid haul. 5's great, 6 sounds better. Astralis, this time, not so potent with the pistols.
Okay, well, now they're going to be getting things back together with a buy coming on through. A Famous for Zip and an MP9 for Glaive, so it's not the best of buys, but it's the best they can bolster right here, right now, and this is before the half gets too out of control. Trying to limit Spirit to 5 in total here. Astralis would love to get the double digits. Blame up, over, takes a peek, the extinguish is there, and U2 coming over the top. He has a good idea about the slide jump. Spotted.
And that's another Dexter death. Has not been able to have too much impact. With that AWP, meets these M4s, and Chopper already caught through the boards. It's Patsy that's the next victim, and backs are turned. They haven't seen a single one of their opponents so far, and this round's already done. It's an early one. 3 kills to Astralis in the opening 30 seconds.
Just not accounting for that level of aggression right there. You could see it was a bit more focused from Dexter. He didn't expect the player to have jumped up and pushed towards that position immediately.
But they've been doing it so consistently. I mean, I know they haven't had that information. They haven't had those engagements. But from our perspective, it's impressive that Astralis just are so unwilling. You know, sometimes it is Farley in toilets just being a bit of a canary. But majority of the time, when Blame is over there, he's happy to take a push.
If you chop it right now for the last remaining 2 Magics and Siren, the goal would be damage. Get as many kills as you can right here because the economy is still quite fragile for Astralis. Remember, MP9 for Glaive and a Famas for Zip. If you could take a gun or 2 away right here, it's going to limit what the purchases are into the next. AWP has been scooped on up. There is enough money to buy right now for Spirit going into the next round of play here. So if they're thinking very, very late game, which I suppose we're already at, might just want to hold on to what they have, but I would love to see them get a little bit more pep in the step for a kill or 2.
Yeah, you got 3 rounds to play out. Is it really just going to be a game of musical statues? Was that what we played in the parties?
Well, there's no music playing right now.
No, maybe a really small violin.
Well, Glaive's coming on over, wants to see what he can scoop.
You know, an AK does sound better than an MP9.
Yeah, and a Famas. So both of them are going to get upgrades here. There'll be no damage done. Now established a very strong buy, and everybody staying alive means Astralis have residual cash if they do lose this next round to play. Spirit not going to have any dramas with those purchases on in, and there's only 2 more rounds to play on out here. So I think just playing for the last in case they do lose this one with that save.
I mean, it's just a quiet 16 out of Blame here. We were talking about him being high-rated and the highest rated on CT's side so far, 3 maps deep, and he's got 16 and 6, Chad. He has the only one to have broken double digits. He's got the same score as 2 of his teammates combined, if not more. Extinguished Herd. That was the deep playground molly, and they've been very, very punished for these underpass fights. You've got bangs through the boards, and Blame is a problem. If he does want to fight, though, I wouldn't want to trifle with Dexter and Patsy. They don't want to trifle with Blame F. 3 leading monster side. They look to be regrouping early, and they've had successes hitting this site as a unit. But you can see the setup from Astralis. It's like Blame wouldn't take much.
He's going to be here immediately.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's going to be 4 of them to defend this site, right? The execute is being lined on up. The one removed from the pack is Config over towards Long. The Farley's AWP is here. They can lock this one down. Here they come.
This is going to be a very quick round. Breaking through, kicking open the door. Magic's onto Farley. Zipex flustered. Magic's trying to be the pointy end of this spear. He's got short to deal with. Zip hiding out on the barrels. Unmolotov just yet. Chopper considering it. It's Glaive to try and take that monster fight.
They're out of nades. They can't reinitiate. Spirit want to take aim duels on the fade.
That's a nice angle found by Glaive. Does miss his chance. Zip doesn't. Molotov down, and it's 3 in the feed from Astralis. Blame contributes. Patience does prevail, but still 40 seconds. Both here. Util dumped. It's Dexter. AWP up close. He can do some of his best work in these scenarios. He knows Blame was sandbags. This should favor Dexter. But Blame's too good. Another for his frags. 19 now as he racks them up. And damn, Astralis completely lock out Spirit.
Beautiful. It's up to 9. Can get that double digits. 10 is possible here. But Spirit there, the fact that they just stalled it on out, as I mentioned, they were just looking for aim jewels on the fade. The only piece of utility that I believe they had left after that execute came on through was a Molotov. So there wasn't like a let's wait, let's push into the canal, flash, and then retake these fights. It was, what can we do? We just kind of have to sit. We have to wait, and unable to initiate anything actively into the site. Config's been able to rotate on over, and they lock them out. Plenty of cash for the buy here for Spirit's last round of play on their first half of their map choice. They'd love to get 6 here.
Blame back into his cave.
This is a bit quicker.
There is pace. Patsy's really sick of this spam, really starting to have a bad day in the office, finally. Or at least it is the final round of it. Setting this boost up, there must be a contingency for it. Not currently actually established. You can see Zip forward on Monster, Glaive towards short.
Blame again.
He's lost Patsy again. This is Blame so stubborn in his hold. He will go down even for a 4v4. Config's running out of bullets, Chad. He's only got 30 left.
Well, he only needs 4.
Okay, I see. Zip? It's a common clear. Just needs to try and take one of the 2. Does soften him up for the nades. And Glaive, lives on. Should be hunted down now. Holding firm on the site. It's Magic's a nice find. Double onto the site defense. And so Spirit looking to close with a 6th. It's just Farley that can flip the script. 5-7 and an AWP. His weapons of choice. Dexter posted and Farley flicks. Scary now. Don't forget Siren's low. He could be susceptible to a wallbang. Farley crawling now. Siren, do you really want to take that risk? Get the info and snaps onto the another. Farley looking to come up clutch. He knows where Magix is. Both low. Farley looking to do something rather special for Astralis, and he will with a 1v3, coming up clutch to close, and that is another nasty one for Spirit to stomach.
Dangerous indeed. That's 2 massive rounds right there on the B retakes. One was a bloody eco with a scout, but this one here from Farley, the last round of the half, beautiful stuff. And you can see there the conversation was, Siren, take contact as soon as Magic shoots, and he does exactly as he's told, doesn't realize it's on the jump, gets himself in the open, gets himself taken down and isolating that fight. Beautiful work from Farley right there. That's the type of round you want to see from your AWPer to close.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, especially when you're in, you're in a team with royalty here. That's how you earn their respect, Chad. You win rounds like this at the major. Beautifully played from the AWPer, newest addition, and certainly paying his dues, looking good. You can see GG bet favors Astralis, and don't think there's much of a surprise as to why.
Yeah, Blame, like, not only were we talking about him being the highest rated CT player in the tournament, I guess CT meta, so that's a huge thing to have. He is the highest rated player in the tournament. So he's doing wonders for his stat lines right here. And the way that he's playing, he's been involved in, I think, 3 opening fights. He's been aggressive up towards Fountain. He's been pushing towards Connector, but pushing towards A. And Dexter gets one. The trade, it's there. Farley will get 1 for 1.
They're across. Patsy will try and lock them in there. And Farley actually continuing to go walkabouts. Heaven smoke. Farley late to arrive. The rest already into the site. This is a big jaw. Patsy is distracted. And wow, Magix at least does shut Farley down quick. He is going to... Oh, nice supportive flash. And so the pistol is all onto Blame. Can he clutch as well? Inspired by that of Farley, a USP sounds better than the Glock. He will get out of trouble initially, but the bomb is on the site, so he's got 60 seconds to think this one through. He's happy to biff, he's happy to brawl, and there's more clicks to be had. He gets the info. If you're Spirit, you are flustered now, aren't you? Just a little bit. The ghost of Blame floats ethereally into the site, and he hasn't got anyone in his sight. Bomb's still there, and in 30 seconds rotten off the clock, another 30 to play. Worried about pushes for info. They are starting to group up and clear.
Swinging.
Yeah. Oh, and just as he pulls out the butterfly, that should be the end of that. Spirit take the must-win pistol.
I think it started to get sweaty as well because he was there, it was missing for so long. It's like, has he actually gone around the world? Like, is Blame really going for this type of a play here to come behind us at any given moment? So pushing, taking the fight, finding him out, securing the pistol, grabbing the 6th, and a nice one there from Spirit. I was really impressed by that kill from Farley right there as he came out of door. The fact that he gets one in the immediate trade, really nice work from both teams in that regard. But once they got caught in the crossfire between sandbags and the push out from CT spawn, that's when it was all over Red Rover. And, well, similar scenes as to how the first half unfolded. Astralis will be taking a practical full save here. The P250 in Blame's hand is the best they have to boast in the buy department. Chopper about to jump and get a bit of an eyeful. 2 spotted.
Just seeing him desperately think, the only nade he had was the incendiary. Doesn't quite fit the bill. Patsy shouldn't have too many issues as he does take down Glaive. Pops him like the balloons at the party. Zip. His next victim.
One of the key differences in this round from what we saw Astralis do in their first half, I think they had 3 M4s and 2 MP9s. This is 2 Famis's and M4 and 2 MP9s. So now when the AKs come out, you're going to be favouring it. Never mind. They've sorted that out, haven't they? They fixed that little problem they might have been having. Dexter into an AWP immediately here. So that's the difference maker right here, right now. And the stats that the desk pointed out at the start was, sure, Blame's the highest rated CT player, but then you have Patsy, you have Dexter, and you have Magix all in the top 10 as well. So these are 3 strong performers on the CT side of the tournament thus far. On Dust 2, mind you. Let's see how they go on Overpass.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Spirit on a map that's not Dust 2.
It's not orange.
Yeah,
this is unusual.
It's a bit colder over here as well.
Oh, very standard stuff for Astralis out the gates here. was a default spread without connector presence. They have a pack, a wolf pack of 4. Cleaning up the playground. Making a wish at the fountain and dropping a smoke towards the front bathrooms. Long control to be established, and Dexter's AWP posted up towards Party. The contact from Long will be identified by Chopper. He's playing passively right now over towards Bank, just jump spotting. All he's here for is info. He uses utility right now to stall them out on the push, and actually he's backing on off, so the gap left wide open. Nobody will be able to determine when that Long presence is coming. It is a gamble stack towards B right here. Just Dexter alone right now.
Yeah, a bit of an island for him, and they're about to execute Longside. Chopper's going to be scarpering over to provide assistance. Dexter, though, he's really forward of all of this. He knows Blame could be hiding in those toilets. Patsy to provide support, and just as Blame looks away, it's a real close one, kept level. 2 members of the Danish roster remain. Farley is the next victim of Chopper's SMG. Careful, Glaves in the server and makes it clear. With 20 seconds, he has to find Chopper. Knows Patsy's coming from behind. He has had a chance onto that first fight, but that Spirit really putting their teeth into this defensive half. They have converted, and they force Astralis down again. You can see 3.5 high end. This gap will become just the 1 round as long as we don't see a fumble out of Spirit. They've had a couple. They've recovered on their own volition, but this is where you do have to knuckle down.
Putting a lot of faith in Dexter there to make sure that he doesn't just go on down, because if he gets obliterated in that situation, it might be a completely different looking round. So great stuff for Dexter to get 1. Hold them at the line, allow that rotation to come in, allow Patsy to chime on in and have a bit of a push to make this one possible. So flashes up and over to allow Patsy to peek, and he will do exactly that. Deagle spotted by confirmed on the other side. Team flash sure, but not going to be the end of the world. This Config creeping through. Would love to find the dome here of Siren. He is ahead of the smoke.
Config is no slouch. Want to be feared and already connecting bullets. It's Glaves Deeg as well that fills the feed from Long. What's their 4v5 win percentage?
Not great.
Not against Deegs though, right? Not against Deegs. Chomper, long range, AK in play. It's the perfect weapon for the job. He is concerned about the site. They have left him alone to deal with all of this. And the fights will keep coming his way. The Eagles, a P250, certainly not terrible. Finally to draw the crosshair out, and Chopper's handled business here. Closes up shop. Just Config and Zip. Recovered M4 is nice. The bomb on his back and spotting out not only the bomb, but Config himself.
I want to go down here, boys. You do need this loss bonus right here, right now. I know they're looking for some damage, but the longer they stall out the clock, if Spirit want, they can just relinquish this control, get back into the site, and force Astralis to come to them. M4 could be retained. But is that really what you're looking to have next on Config? He goes down. Siren obliterates him, and now it just is Zip. 10 seconds left. The round is done. The round is dusted. And he won't even get a kill onto Dexter right there. So removed and massive. Today's about bucking trends for both of these teams, apparently. Farley with that 100% on the CT side success rate. That's gone. We can wipe that slate clean. And now, Spirit, well, the 4v5, 0% on the CT side. They're starting to make that look a little bit nicer too. So I'm sure that will be a nice little bump up.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the, beginner level, then intermediate.
Yeah.
Then we get into intermediate.
Step at a time. Well, here we go. Astralis into a full buy now. Everything they'd want for a standard round of play here. Farley's AWP is up to 1 round game right now, and Dexter, a chance. Shot just whistles by, letting him know he's going to be around to be peskier A this time round. An extra flash or 2, a run boost. None of this complexity, dry walk out long into James shenanigans. They're going to have to use some util to deal with his position right now.
The flowchart starts taking its steps, a run boost long, a flash as well. Wow, look at these procedures that stop the AWPer from viably shutting down the one-man long push.
Everybody's learning today, I think.
Whoa, hang on, what are you up to, Dexter? You got the whole squad coming your way. I think he realizes his shortcomings. He will have to tuck around just in time. Never mind, the bomb's been put on a platter for him. Ooh. Expect a boost, a quick flick out of Dexter. Perhaps Farley can peek off a Config's bait. That's enough of him. The flash is enough to deter, and he will just concede long. Instead, you focus on Chopper's position, hold toilets, push forward, and have your bank players provide some assistance. Sirens arrived to do just that. Util dumped. We've got about 40 seconds, Chad. The bomb committed to this long.
Push.
Oh, Zip is responsible for it and confirms that the presence is coming. They're in the hurt locker. And from every angle, there is CT. Look at this map. They are in the box.
You can have long. That's fine, guys. Good luck.
It's all yours. It's all yours. Can they really dig themselves out of this one? Farley gets the info. Patsy survival would have been nice, but Config catches one twice through his teammate. Farley takes down Patsy, but that's the end of that.
That's just to get on out. They had to sacrifice Config to the gods just so they could hold on to this AWP.
Yeah, they led him up the stairs, laid him down, just asked him to take a nap.
Oh, well, Magix is coming here. I'm not sure he's going to get there in time. 3, 2, 1, and the round will have transpired here, so they've got 5 more seconds to make a move on, but looking likely that Farley holds on to that AWP. And fortunately, considering how that one unfolded, but maybe getting a little bit ahead of himself with that push from Glaive, right? So far with the bomb, understanding he wants to run down against the space that Dexter continues to re-peak to apply pressure on that AWPer, but dropping the bomb and allowed that push of Patsy that was perfectly highlighted by our ops team. That was coming on through, so no matter what was going on as far as these fights, if they didn't get the kills quick, there was no way they were getting out of this alive, and
that's tough. Do you think,
knows how that feels.
You know, is it possible, even at this level of competition, that you don't quite process you have the bomb? You know, Glaive, he's a thinking man. He's not probably chasing an AWPer with the bomb on his back.
As crazy as it sounds, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because it might have got dropped to you as you're in the pack or whatever, and you're busy calling, and you just didn't identify that little detail.
But does completely tie us up here, and with the door naded off, this sandbag's position works twofold.
It gives them that sightline interconnector there, and they are going to be worried as they round the corner and connect it off sandbag, off sewer, and up the stairs. They are allowing Farley's AWP here to work.
Who's responsible for Monsterland? The conversation's had. It's Siren. Oh, good timing, but repelled. Nice support. Drop of the incendiary. It's AWP, and Dexter shuts down Farley. He's got more on the plate, and down goes Zip. No resistance at all. Magix does adjust into that secondary angle. And this could be Spirit taking the lead of our first map. Their map pick, no less. Overpass pulled down. It seems they're not just a one-trick pony. Dust 2 works, so does Overpass.
So I think our 6th round of play here on this CT half of Spirit, and Dexter's found the opening kill in 4 of them. The pistol round, and then 3 rounds with the AWP so far. So finding a lot of traction here for Team Spirit on this CT side.
Well, Blame, 21-11.
This is the thing, right? We've been talking about his CT prowess, and he did his job. He did what he needed to do on the CT side. This is where Config is the tit to that tat. Right? He's the individual who needs to step on up and find them some openings. I think Farley is... damage done. Bomb would love to get it down and will be allowed to plant. So great stuff from Blame here. Glaive's going to be happy with that one. Going to give them some cash to work with into the next round of play.
A nice injection, $800 extra for getting it down.
Blame 1 on 5. This would be something.
He's got the Empress. Let's see if he can impress. Spirit caged. Staring at long, multiple peaks, info gained. Turns the flash, ready to spray. My God, did you see the damage? There's a different universe somewhere where Blame has just flipped that table and flipped Spirit's hopes and dreams. My God, okay.
If that one went wrong, I would have had to question a lot about my life, because there was smokes, there was flashes, there was 5 players alive.
And they all just swing.
And then they still thought there was a little bit of a chance right there as they take that fight onto the big man himself. A sip of water, a timeout taken, a conversation to be had. Trace, legend of the 1.6 days, now coaching this Astralis roster. Another one, yeah, I know. For the Danes to have a bit of a chit-chat here and try and set this right, because 6 consecutive rounds right now on this CT hall for Spirit. The trend needs to be bucked. Astralis only managed 5 out the gates before Spirit were able to pick up a T-sided round. That plant from Blame, it's worth its weight in gold. It should signify another buy. It's even allowed Farley to get out of the AWP again. Now, they've done quite a few A-centric plays. Just there, they did try that limp on into B with, wow, an opening kill going against them again from Dexter's AWP. They want to avoid this all. Right, identify where it is and try and push a weakness on the other side of the map without giving up a kill to Dexter, who this time is going to be heading over towards A.
Yeah, thinks better of it. The utility implies a heavy presence, doesn't want to succumb to a quick config swing, and oh, they are coming. Dexter, wise to relocate. 2 up long. There's some real pep in the step here of Config. You can see he's been given an objective, and it is to take space, ideally, with some dog tags as well.
Well, this is when you turn to Config. He needs to find you something. They parked him towards long here as this B control is established by Spirit, and they're starting to push, so guess what? Here they come, Zip.
Yeah, he could be flashed off this. Interesting angle he's adopted, but as the smoke arrives, his attention is drawn, and Patsy needed the trade and provides it. We immediately level out.
But once it's Zip, you know it's the backyard B babysitter.
Right.
They know right now that that's a standard default round from Astralis.
But Glaive knows they know, so we know there might be a change up here. Patsy does throw a couple of cursory shots through on the fading smoke.
Look where the bomb is. That will need to be scooped up at some point here. It's left over towards Playground at this juncture. 40 seconds left on the clock, so still enough time to get it. They are turning their attention back to B. Config will be late lurking long. Farley cannot get caught out here by this aggression of Siren.
This bomb's getting a bit nervy now, lads. It's still Playground. Chopper confirms long presence in its Config v Chopper. Trying to keep feet planted. Farley immediately starting to scarper, but he's going to have to really pull up his socks and tie in his laces. 20
Siren's
seconds.
got him.
He's in T-spawn. Config shot. Oh, okay, does meet Siren, but there is something to be said. It's Blame. Once again, trying to play the game. Does go down to Dexter's AWP, and Farley just doesn't have the time. He's only just arrived. That's going to be Spirit extending their lead, and still undefeated, Chad. Yet to see them bleed on this defense.
This info wars that's going on right now would have Alex Jones impressed. I cannot believe the level that's going on here with some of these plays, right? Chopper with that jump towards the bank position, catches that push coming up long. Siren continues forward, and all that info of knowing that you took down Zip, right? They've actually been able to play them like a fiddle right here. Yeah. This is looking fantastic. Dexter is here, there, and everywhere, right? He started on A, was taking those initial exchanges, and then these are the kills with 18 seconds left on the clock. He's able to pick up over towards B. So this is great stuff from Dexter. He is really alive on this CT half, and he's loving it. Big smile on the face.
You could just see, like, in their eyes, they're just so hyper-focused. Like, this is it. It's all to play for right now. You got 2 wins, 1 more, and you're playing with the big boys. You're playing them right now, to be fair.
Well, this is a change-up, right? They want to go for a B explode with this utility, just trying to establish this short control, and Patsy over towards Connector with the crossfire with Magics. They can shut them down right here, right now.
Yeah, Patsy will have a sight line. Oh, he knows. Perfect timing. Magics for the multi, sprays down 2, and Patsy for the slam dunk does get it down. It's only Farley. That safe Dorps are getting him nowhere. On to the funny bone. Patsy ain't laughing, though. 70 seconds, bomb loose. Aggressive. Flubs the flash, Chopper's posted. Farley's quick though, already a 1v3 under his belt of overpass, and it looks like Chopper could be isolated. Farley very quick on this trigger, doesn't hard clear, Chopper profits. It's getting a little scary. 13 for Spirit, still yet to drop around. Admittedly, they are getting enough to keep pumping the AKs and the rifles into play, but Astralis, what hasn't been tried?
Well, this is the thing, right? The T side of overpass coming back to haunt them. I think we all remember that game against Heroic where Shush retook that A bomb site on the CT side, and then they really struggled to post those T-sided rounds. Right now, we're seeing more issues of that. I think pace might have to be the option here, something a bit more brute force, something where they need to enable an individual to take a risk, to take a gamble, but back towards A with 4 one more time. The flash is good. Patsy landed on up. The one back on over from Dexter to enable another peek, but there is a lot of pressure just on the other side of that playground wall.
You can see Zip is just trying to use sound cues now to the best of his ability to keep those feet planted and extinguished. That will have them hesitant. Patsy.
It's just a default again, though, Alex. There's nothing different here. It's a default round again. One connector.
And Dexter always somewhere different. This time looking for his opening onto Glaive. Oops, bit of a fumble on the flash. Second, not required. And you can see Patsy's considering something. He knows he can hear. At least one descending. Magics will unload a mag to suppress that underpass presence.
They look like they feel like they're safe here as Stars, but they're anything but. They are anything but right now. Patsy's forward position, as you mentioned, hearing everything, but now he's gone. Huge kill from the in-game leader. They needed that.
Yeah, that's a great catch. And now the disadvantage. Oh, it gets worse. Zip unloads through the smoke. Astralis' first T round looms. The Spirit losing that opening more often than not historically here at the Major does translate.
Now they just need to regroup, trade efficiently. The only player that can stop them right now on this A bomb site is going to be Chopper towards Bank, and he needs to do a lot of work.
Yeah, he really does have to turn the tables here. It's going to be so hard. All of that nade and Unity. He's managed to just separate one from the pack. Config immediately there for the trade, and so site is lost and the round is won. I guess just a stubborn default is going to be enough to break through. And it's the pick from Glaive. Takes down Patsy, who did, as you discussed, have so much room. But it all comes tumbling down, and they do finally buck the trend. How many was that? Let's not forget, a 10-5 half, 10 CT rounds, and
8 in a row, right?
I swear Blame had 21 frags at the half.
Yeah, I think it was pretty damn close to that right here. And this is the thing, it's that nobody's really been able to find a lot of traction right here on the T side. We talk about Blame, we talk about his T side prowess. IHC winning the first map against Imperial.
Oh, wow, dude, if they go to...
I think I was the only person who predicted IHC to beat Imperial in the little tweetosphere that we have going on right now. I have to represent the region, Alex. I was going for Renegades, and now I'm going for IHC.
That surprises me. I'd say you watch one IHC game and you watch one Imperial game. I think that's actually a pretty fair cop.
Yeah.
What was I talking about?
We were talking about Blame, CT side.
Yeah, no, I was just taking a look at to see how the scoreboard has differentiated from that first half, but it is really, I mean, the biggest takeaway, key takeaway, is that once you get Dexter, that big zoom banger, he's been able to have a very imposing presence onto this Danish T side. Let's see if they can strike twice. Zip trying to act like an army. Flashes Monster, extinguished short, trying to keep those CTs guessing, pull some nades out of them. And it is a very heavy lean towards B from our CTs. Boosts, full underpass push, and it's just that Dexter Orb long. He must be on a timer, right? He has to start getting concerned about Banana once that util is dropped.
This is the thing, you can start 4B quite consistently here, Patsy. You have to be very careful about this. You have a teammate spamming your bullets through now as well. Jeez, gapping that smoke, so going to take a lick of damage right there, getting away, and, well, he does get away. To note, as far as these opening kills for Astralis have gone so far on their T side, they've managed 3. They've only been able to come up 1 round off of those. One was the Diga round with Glaive, where the rest of them just got minced. The other was the Zipex push, where the info play Spirit were able to outmaneuver Astralis this time round with 48 seconds on the clock. An opening kill still eludes Astralis here, and Dexter yet to move, hasn't had to move. The rotations come across, and he's worried about this. Wow, 6th sense or something going on for Dexter here.
Oh, Config looking for him. He faked the steps away, and Config bites on the hook. Line, and indeed, here comes the sinker. Poor Blame, next victim of Chopper. Mowed down, and we could have a spotless one here. Farley trying to hide in plain sight. It's not to be, and Spirit back to their winning ways. Smirks creep onto their face, 2 away from taking their map pick.
Dexter likes something he saw there, pointing at Chopper, big smile on their face, loving the conversation. I think it worked out perfectly, whatever the plan was. Doesn't go much better than that, denying the plant, putting Astralis in this position. Sure, the loss bonus is there to help facilitate some AK-47s and AWP possible as well if they want to get Farley into that.
Put yourself in Config's shoes as well. Like, you've been so desperate for openings. They're asking you to find them. You've got to toilets. You hear like a scope, or you just hear a dismount from the boost long, and you charge. You start, your eyes go wide, the pupils dilate. You strafe up a gorgeous strafe, and Dexter's hitting a quick scope right onto your face. The rest just falls apart.
We're in panic stations right now for Astralis. 1T round. This is very, very rough from them, right? The fact that they're not even getting into these sites to make these like 2v2s or clutch scenarios that they're losing at this juncture is a little bit of a problem here. You can see the bomb has only gone down a total of 2 times. Only a total of 2 times so far. There's been 2 timeout rounds where AWPs have been saved for Farley. Having a rough go, things mentioned. He hasn't been very impactful for the team on their T side. So no AWP. It looks like they're going to focus on utility. I'm surprised not to see them come up with a bit more of a pocket strat, some kind of nerdy execute towards B. They're just going to flash and push. This time Config coming again. And, well, Dexter seems to just greet him with a smile and a bullet every single time.
It's the opening that Astralis have been looking for. It's the opening that Config has been looking for. Let's see if Spirit can continue to buck the trend. My God, imagine if he went all the way through. The bomb has been left there. Magix could have the stabilizing presence had he had the initiative, instead looking to address the toilets. Instead,
they're coming through. This flash could be perfect.
Oh yeah, but Siren's unawares. Magix will check in, and there should be at least an adjustment. Blame on the toes. He still stands strong. Big frag to post to maintain that man advantage. It is Chopper and Dexter though. You can see that they did have some unity in the previous. They can go either way with this. You can see the CTs are scattered. Yeah, faked out completely.
Beautiful work right there for Blame. That was a really important kill. If he lost that frag, this round would have been done and dusted. Config's now going to walk on in, smoke over towards the drop down. Plant will be coming momentarily, and Dexter and Chopper now know that they're out of position. The question is, do they want to try and go for this 2v3 retake? There's plenty of cash left on over right now for Spirit. He's going to deny in the back, a shot to Chopper, a gimme. He'll confirm it, and Dexter looking to hold on to that AWP. The 2 rounds that Astralis have posted right now have come with opening deaths from Patsy. Don't want to point the fingers here, but that has been the condition of how Astralis have been able to convert. First it was Glaive taking down Patsy, now it was Config getting that kill.
True.
Doesn't matter how it comes, it needs to come. And Astralis, 2 rounds off the pace right now. It's a bit more of a divide and conquer approach there out of Astralis. Right, they were applying pressure over towards bathrooms, I think trying to keep and identify that AWPer, right? We spoke about this earlier. Identify where Dexter is and then look for an opening pick elsewhere, because Dexter's been very good. I think it was 6 rounds of play. I said that he had found 4 openings. I think he had found a couple more since then. You got the scores on the doors. Dexter at the top right now for Spirit on 21 and Blame on the other side with 25.
Yeah, I think it's also just highlighting how few frags they were finding in those losses as well. Lots of money in the bank for Team Spirit. 11 grand on Dexter. Let's see what this one entails. It's Patsy again, and he's not deterred. He just charges in, and again he falls first. Dexter is in knee-jerk reaction. Will shut it down immediately, but look what they were planning, and they still will.
They're going to go through. They know they have to.
Siren, great incendiary, puts it down. Floor laden with flame. That will keep them at bay. Swinging out for the clear. Needed that. Needs more. It's Flame next victim. Siren repels the invaders. These invaders must die. It is, however, Farley and Glaive.
Look at this flank right now from Chopper around the world here.
Yeah, he will have them from behind.
Oh, it's a flash.
Okay, it's fine on Dexter. Continues to lay down the law, and he will finish with 3. Very quick on that AWP.
15 now.
Whoa, okay, yeah. Zip and Glaive don't have the funds. It might not be idyllic for Astralis as they look to defend their honor. They have to string together 3 here. It's been a very dominant CT performance out of Spirit. We know that Overpass has actually been one of the more balanced in those round distributions, but not here, not today. It was a 10-5 half. We were sitting 10-2. Can Astralis match that haul that Spirit brought?
Again, back towards A, even through the flames. Config taking a massive lick of damage right there. Chipped on down to 60. He wants to try and get some space. He might run to the AWP, and he will. Config down to Dexter's AWP one more time.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's a rifle now for Glaive if he can, and Brave long. Spirit looking for their first taste of some revenge. Patsy, Shadow, and down goes Farley. A 2-man advantage now. It seems like a certainty, and with every click, it gets closer and closer to reality. It is looking like Overpass pick was justified. Blame and Zip would be hard-pressed to do anything more with this.
2 individuals who you'd like to see alive in the clutch, but maybe not paired up with one another. Let's see if they can make this happen. 4 more to find. Back towards B is where they want to turn their affections. 2 players still residing right now. Util, just a nade and a molly. They're going to have to get it done with bullets here.
I wonder if Blame takes a little bit of charge here. Trundling in. Molly out. Siren and Magix will likely be calling for aid. They haven't seen and confirmed the pair. Oh, and that's Chopper. This is it. It's just Blame looking to tap some heads. A nice first, but Spirit take Overpass to get this best of 3 started with the dub. Astralis then have to take it over to Ancient as our second.
This is going to be interesting moving over towards Ancient. I'm actually excited to see this map go on down. I think that Spirit are on a bit of a win streak on that map right here, but this is fantastic. As we mentioned, teams bucking trends. Farley in the opening duels on the CT side. And on this for Spirit, actually being able to concede an opening man on their CT side and convert those rounds, that was essential in some of these situations. But a great showing. Great stuff to see Blame F playing some solid CS still, but needs a second in charge to help him on out going forward.
Well, all those trends were also, of course, outlined by our brilliant panel, and we're going to head back there now to see what they think after all of that. It was a bit of a barn burner. Let's see what the guys over at the desk have to say before we get ready and retooled for Ancient.
I think that's a great way to put it, Machine. And I want all the time that we can get to talk about this because there are so much to talk about. I almost can't find the words, but for Spirit, monumental that they are able to beat Astralis, obviously, in the opening game in this, let's remind ourselves, match to qualify to the Legends stage, and it was Astralis' map pick. So I want to break it out and start just by the halves, because there was such a distinct difference between the two, of course, as there always is. But let's see. Astralis start on the CT side. We know historically always a very good side on Overpass, even more in the current meta. And there, Devil, it's a lot of what we have grown used to, Astralis, in terms of their strengths as it starts out.
Yeah, I mean, Blame F, he goes out in every game they start, basically just dominates the entire half. And then they switched to the T side. It was the same trend on the last time they played Overpass, where he got like 4 kills on the T side. I think he got the same this time around.
He got 7 this time.
Oh, 7, all right. Basically, he was very, very cold early on. Spirit got to build up their money to have that double up, and we saw Dexter.
Well, honestly, just if we hone in on the T side for a second here, I want to take time to give props to Spirit.
Okay.
For multiple reasons. First of all, they grabbed 5 rounds on the T side of Overpass, and we have talked about their difficulty in spite of Blame being an absolute monster, first of all. Then they also had a couple of blunders. We'll touch on them a little bit later in this segment, right? But some rounds they just dropped where they shouldn't, which means they really had to work hard figuring out these 5 rounds, and I think that was the difference maker.
And we also saw the stat coming in, of course, that they had trouble overall when they couldn't get those opening kills. A lot of pressure, of course, on the youngster shoulders of Patsy in that scenario. So let's break out a couple of rounds for when it looked like they were still trailing behind, right? Because they're trying to build up as many rounds as possible on T. And then they have a couple of rounds where they fumble it, right? Mathieu, that's correct to say. So let's pull up round 10 to start. I don't actually know if it's ready already, but can you set the stage for us?
Listen, the rounds that we're about to show you guys, which are around 10 and then a little bit later around 15, are not really just to tackle down Spirit, it's to say in spite of these rounds, they were able to win, which to me I think speaks volume to their T side. We have here obviously the stack from Astralis in what is a pistol, literally an eco round for Astralis that they're going to be able to convert. Dexter with the Glock makes, but we can see here, Devil, it's already a bit messy. It's a bit too messy for me.
But I do like that Dexter has that killer instinct, even and just goes there and clear and pushes through when he needs to. They obviously fumbled this round as well. Config with some beautiful scout shots.
The problem that I have when we're watching this round, we're all in the green room, we're thinking, man, if the challengers are actually going to take down Astralis, you cannot lose these rounds. You are not allowed to lose against USPs and Scout, and yet they turn it around.
And yet they turn it around. Before we get to the turning around, let's talk about round 15 as well, because we need to give some props to Farley in this one, which made you very happy. But you can't lose a 1 versus 3 after the bomb is planted as Spirit, and these are kind of the things I think they'll also need to clean up going into the next T-halves, right?
Yeah, definitely. But still huge positives for Spirit. I mean, it's kind of the reverse. It's Spirit, they were grinding out T-rounds. I was really impressed because they got the best start possible for the CT side on Astralis. They get the conversion, they get the first gun run, they convert again, 5-0, and then they still manage to pick up 5 rounds on the T side with the problems that we showed and highlighted, right?
Yeah, I think that's what we're trying to say here, is that despite, or in spite of these 2 rounds we're showing it, which are, these are words, these are mistakes, these are failures. You're not supposed to lose a 1v3 bomb planted on B. But that also means that they got to all these very positive and advantageous situations, and that speaks volumes to their team.
That killer instinct for Dexter, of course, when he moved on to CT. And of course, we were watching the game. That's why we grabbed these 2 replays, because we thought, oh, if Spirit is going to fall short,
I thought that was big.
They're going to think back to these rounds. But then we were in for a bit of a surprise when it came to Spirit CT side as well. And Devil Walk got, I'm not going to say angry, but vexed at some points looking at Astralis' play. The first thing I'm going to throw towards you is the juxtaposition of Blame F on CT side and then on T side. There were some situations where he was the only one with a rifle. And explain it to us. Why did it make you so angry?
So there was a round where he had an AK, they had 3 mates with a pistol, they had the saved op from Farlig, and basically he didn't shoot a single AK shot until all his teammates were dead. And that infuriates me because he needs to get the impact. Everyone else, they can pick up the AK, recycle it, and use it as a normal kind of poking, prodding round. But instead, he gets into a 1v5. Yes, he does get the bomb plant and he does get a kill, but it's not impactful enough I think, in these scenarios.
I think the way we can frame it is that the qualities that make BlameF such an incredible CT-sided player, which is positioning, patience, knowing when to strike, he has to reshuffle those when he moves on to the T side. There are a few situations that require that killer instinct that you're mentioning. I guess the ability and the intention to make the difference and put your life on the line going first and trying to make that difference. And I think the doubters of BlameF, that is what they pinpoint. They say when he has to do it, he doesn't. He let Deagle go first, even though he has to make that difference. And once again on Overpass, we see night and day, feast and famine, as Alex likes to say. We love that one, Alex. Between CT side and T side.
Yeah, and it's definitely something to look forward to when we go into these next maps as well. I think we've laid out kind of the troubles that Spirit had on the T side, but they were still able to piece those rounds together. The troubles out of Astralis. And now let's talk about a huge positive for Spirit as well, Dexter. Holding long on Overpass, having such killer instinct, as you said it, really deciding the rounds from very early on, making it so that Astralis was hard fought to find solutions.
Yeah, and considering the experience they have on that team with BlameF being an in-game leader and Glaive, historically, I mean, you'll put them on top one in-game leader all time, having trouble finding solutions to deal with Dexter.
The work is so invaluable. I mean, what really strikes me when we're watching this reel right now is how many different positions he had with the AWP. And if you're Astralis, you have this riddle that you're trying to kind of elucidate. Where is Dexter going to be? Is he going to be standing in the middle of long? Is he going to be pillar on B as we have right now? Is he going to be in bathroom? And that takes such a toll on a team to have that menace of the AWP being anywhere, and Dexter does it. I'm going to take a second to give props to Dexter, honestly, just beyond that game. Dexter is someone that came up and around in the top of Counter-Strike as we were only playing online, and I truly feel like he hasn't received the respect and the praises he deserves now that we moved on to LAN. Every single LAN event, aside from a Timid Stockholm, he has been shining like a madman. It's a superstar in the making, and I'm glad that we get to see the best out of Dexter.
And it was necessary not to kind of frown at the other players on the team in this round. But for instance, Patsy, who we've praised as a secondary op, but also the man to find the opening kills for Spirit, he went for them and it went wrong in the latter parts of that game, right, for Patsy. And that's fine, I guess. It's not ideal, but the fact that Spirit was able to still pull it out thanks to Dexter and thanks to the others despite that, I think this word despite is very important, because despite those mistakes they made on the T side, they still puzzled the halves together. Despite the fact that the one person we've been praising so much for his opening prowess in Patsy was not having the impact in the latter rounds, they're able to work around that. Devil, you as a coach, that must make you a little bit more hopeful as to the outcome of this series, because before you were not that confident in what Spirit could do.
I wasn't confident. I thought that Astralis basically had every other map but Dust 2 going in their favor, and they definitely proved me wrong. There are issues with Astralis right now and their T-side approaches, and they really need to get going now.
Tell me what you said when you saw one of the rounds where Astralis was on T-side. They had 30 seconds left, and everyone was spread out on the map.
Yeah, to me that's a signal, like they had like one monster, one long, one gathering the bomb in T-spawn, and one underground. It was so spread out, and to me that's an indication they don't have a clear objective in the round. They are too spread out, they were still prodding, and it's too late to make a decision at that point, because you can make a very quick info play and just focus all your rotation towards the site that you think they're going to.
Yeah, and I think it also circles back to that Dexter conversation. I think the fact that Astralis played so slow was because they either had to use a truck ton of utility to take that space or be afraid of that AWP. So I think he grinded out a lot of time. We're jumping on to the next one. We'll talk about it later, but I think there'll be more solutions.
Yes, we are going on to Ancient next, of course, and we'll be able to talk about that at length. And I think Astralis has a lot to talk about as well before they get onto that one. After these highlights, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back for the preview of Ancient.
that's what we call Major. 14 days of high-octane action. 14 days of fierce battles. 14 days of special bonuses from GG Bet. Whoop, cheer, and make your fortune.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for Ancient. Astralis versus Spirit. Astralis now trailing the CIS squad after not being able to make it work on the first map on Overpass. So let's preview that in these last minutes that we have before it. Astralis is trailing, so I guess we start from their perspective. And to summarize what didn't go well, seemed like they were lacking leadership on those T halves, and they were too spread out on the maps and weren't reacting fast enough to what was coming out of Spirit, and there didn't seem to be any planning. Is that a good summary? And then how do you use that as a starting point to attack Ancient?
I think this is probably where the difference is going to root from on Overpass.
Yeah.
Now on Ancient, I think the solutions and the mastery of the map on the T side is much better from Astralis. I would be very surprised to see Glaive being out of solution, seeing Blamef not finding any timings. We hear them, they're getting loud, they're getting pumped. I think Astralis has way more in the tank on Ancient than they had on Overpass.
Yeah, I remember a lot of clips from Config, how he opens up the map. When if they double molly mid CT, they smoke the second molly and he rushes out with good timed flashes. And he's extremely good in these kind of momentum-based plays where his teammates support him. And I want to see more of that. I want to see him getting more entries so that Blame can get more impact on the T side.
I think that's a great point because, you know, we've been talking about Config for a long time, right? On this Astralis, it was a consistency issue and whatnot that had been resolved. But this is a kind of opportunity, I think, for him, and also a necessity, Mathieu, if I'm being honest, for him to really show why he is such a menace on this map.
That's correct. And also because, again, Blamef, it's not exactly in his portfolio to go out and make the difference early on. Farlig, granted, he's a hybrid, at times can have impact with the rifle, but sometimes he does like that ability to open up around the way a Simple would do it, a Shiro would do it, a Zaiwu would do it. Farlig doesn't necessarily have that in the toolkit. So it kind of befalls on Config to be out there, to get out there, to go out middle, like David Walker's talking about, and making the difference. And we have to be honest, he's been relatively silent in this major. I mean, we hold him to a very high demand, high esteem, then now it's time to put it on the server.
Yeah, and also for Glaive, I think the continuing story or focal point for this is, you know, with the new setup of this Astralis, is he going to get to the same heights as he did as an IGL before with the era of Astralis? And he certainly has his work cut out for him, right, Devil?
No, absolutely. I mean, it's always tough to get into these positions when you struggle on the T side. The ideas might, because it's hard to kind of search and problem solve it sometimes. It can be one flash that just destroys the entire round. So and it's hard for them to be able to fix that from map to map right now. They need a little bit of a break to review that.
Look, I want to inspire the Astralis fans out there. I have a few numbers, a few data that's going to help them and their morale, right? Astralis, that's 14 Ancient playing in the last 3 months and only 3 losses out of 14 maps. And these 3 losses were at the hand of ENCE players, now Cloud9 and Na'Vi. These are the calibers of team that Astralis lose to on Ancient. We are barreling towards a third map. Astralis have everything they need to push it to a third.
They have everything they need, but maybe Spirit has something left in the tank, even on Ancient, now that they are up 1-0 over Astralis. Let's find out. What do you think, Machine?
I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun finding out, that's for sure. I have been desperately begging Chad every time. I'm like, Could we see Ancient? Could we see Ancient?
No.
Well, no. It's been a no up until now, and we do get to see it. Spirit pulling it out, or rather Astralis pulling it out against Spirit. We do have the 1-0 leader with Overpass under their belt, and I do think the 11 wins out of 14 certainly does point towards a potential third.
Yeah, I think the thing is Matthew's trying to help the Danes, right? They get a little bit of hope behind their team. I'll go the opposite way. Spirit with the 5-map winning streak, they've just picked up their map choice. They're looking hot on the CT side. They get to start on the CT side, and Astralis are in a T-sided drought, as they mentioned, with Config not having a great major so far.
Oh, you did well.
Yeah,
oh, you did well.
Look, this is a chance for Spirit to sneak themselves into the next stage with a quick 2-0 victory.
Yo, this would be sneaky. How many people had Spirit in the pick'ems?
Yeah, that's going to be a good question, isn't it?
Let's see. Patsy already is going to be tested in middle. Strafes gracefully into Donut, and he's got 3 coming and knocking on his door. It could just be an alternate avenue up towards Ledge. And it does seem to be the case. Interesting. So Astralis, they've got the full squad established and testing cave now. Hello? Observers?
Well, might have a technical issue or two right here, as we can see the fight's going down over on towards that B bomb site.
What's going on, Dan?
Well, we are just watching, this is Patsy View. As you saw, what is it, csgo.pglesports.com.
Yeah.
20 POVs, you can pick your own. We picked Patsy's this round, Alex.
Yeah, for those of you watching on GoTV, check out Patsy. It's actually a very close round, and Patsy is the one to watch as he does shut down Blame, bomb scooped, and he's going to surely hunt him down. Zip. What's him? And still catches lead. A great start for Spirit, and that is already a foreboding feeling in the stomach of Astralis fans.
See, look at this. Our observers are so far in the future, they knew that Patsy was going to get those kills. Then the most important kills of the entire round.
Yeah, the rest was just, you know, trimming the fat.
Exactly.
Didn't need to see any of that.
The last kill's the only kill that matters.
Yeah.
Well, okay, nice way to kick things off here. And we know how difficult these T rounds have been. The fact that Spirit have got this pistol, if Astralis don't win this force fight right now, they're going to find themselves in a hole very early, deep incendiary. The push coming. We've seen this one before.
We have great flash to pop and push. And Glaive, this is the frag. This is the frag. He's already found it. Things will get very scary very quickly. And you can see, look at the rotate they've forced. This is exactly going to plan. Glaive facilitates a full open B site through fighting that fight. If he can just stay threatening, and he has managed to get himself out of dodge, he'll re-smoke mid to keep those
Be careful.
doubtful thoughts. He thinks better of it. There is a safe way to throw it.
Well, this is huge from Chopper right here. Oh,
wow. Okay.
Lots of damage done, and he actually has information that there's less lingering in mid. Still a little bit worried about the donut position. They can tell that's a problem here, but moving back over towards the B bomb site is Magic Smokes. Plenty of them right now to lock out the long and short positions. But look at Chopper continuing to push through mid. He might be behind them before they've even executed. Jumping up over Tetris momentarily.
You can see, I mean, they're going to have to use their numbers, which will mean there is a gap to be threaded.
They're going to have everybody on B. They're reading this very well.
Yeah, just a bit late from Astralis. They had pulled the rotate. Now,
Missed a smoke as well.
With a missed smoke and a full stacked side, Siren will lose vision. Magic safe from the flash. 2 cave side, 3 up the ramp. And here's the flank we were discussing. Backs are turned, and it's only the one from Chopper. So battered, so bruised. Astralis should be mopped up here, swept under the rug, although an imposing start with Glaive's opening. It is just the two of them, Zip and Glaive, the OGs of the squad. And that's a nice find from Magic's farming up, staying nimble on the SMGs. Zip the same, and well, they're on the defuse, and that is that. 2-0. Spirit handle business.
Taken care of there, right? I think once there was no more threat felt towards A, the fact that Chopper just gets to walk through middle, push all the way up, play behind that Tetris box. A very good play from Chopper right there. Sometimes he's calling, sometimes some of his movements can cost the team, but this time in a very crucial round to convert, able to scoop it on up with impact. Now it will just be some Glocks coming out likely for Astralis here. Want to make sure that they can get, oh, hold up a second, looking like they're hedging their bets into a bit of a half bite. They know the loss bonus will be playing into their favor of 2,400 into the next. So I made that 2,900 into the next. So more than enough for a buy. And actually, they've gone heavily all in on Glaive. He even has Galil. They're trying to keep this very threatening with a fast beam.
Very fast, and already Magic's at least takes one. He'd have loved more. Farley's so low. Still alive. Long a threat. Config responsible for it. The flash is coming, but already Config has 2. Takes a big frag, takes the M4 to suppress, and now Spirit are down under duress.
Big nade.
Yeah, right on top of his noggin. Dexter chunked, and it's likely the M4 bullets will take everything away if you do stick around. Spirit, they want to go for the round, and already the damage, poor Dexter, Siren, all just taking a beating. And so Astralis, it seems like the name of the game is going to be pace initially.
Yeah,
like, look at the two openings. The two openings is Glaive being flashed up for a fast donut fight, and now just straight out of Spawn up into B.
Yeah, Devilwalk was talking about it, right? It was these openings. They had Mahone on the blast shoulder. Oh, hold up. Trouble's going to try and do some damage here on the way out. They've been able to slink on past. The USB in the back of the head takes down Zip. He's going to scoop up a MAC-10, but he was just here to try and take away whatever weaponry he could. So a little bit of damage done there. Curious as well to see Astralis go for that buy, because it wasn't an all-in. Like, Glaive all-in, the rest of them almost half-ball in that situation. But the openings, they're not easy to get away with on a map like Ancient, right? Getting out of middle, pushing, you need to use that best spawn to try and beat the first incendiary, right? We've had that highlighted before in the way that you can use the smokes to extinguish with the flashes, but you still want to use that spawn to try and get in the CT's faces as quick as possible. There's not going to be any dramas in the buy department for either of these teams here, but an early round on the board for Astralis, which didn't look likely, right? Lost the pistol, lost the force, thought the eco was coming, and instead the gun's back out in their face. So,
yeah, that's a seasoned veteran call. Just knowing that this not the setup is not going to be conducive with what they're throwing at them. So, after a bit of a hectic start, we will have the pace taken out of it with a pause.
Yeah, I think right now maybe we could reflect what was going on over on that secondary stream of the day. Obviously, on the main stream, we have teams progressing into the Legend stage. Over on that secondary stream, we have teams getting eliminated. Yesterday, we said goodbye to Renegades and 9Z. Today, we'll be saying goodbye to one of Imperial and IHC. That's the first game of the day. The second will be Complexity taking on Liquid. And the third and final elimination of the day will be MIBR taking on Eternal Fire. You can see there the B-Stream update 4-1 in favor of Imperial on their map choice. They've opted to take the battlefield of Overpass and Inferno as the third and decider, which is a strong map for both teams, IHC and Imperial, right? It's the map where Imperial were actually able to take down Liquid, which was one of the bigger upsets of the tournament thus far. So I'll be curious to see how that one unfolds. If you want to check out that action, twitch.tv/PGL_CSGO with Harry and Hugo. You can check it out on YouTube. Just search PGL. You can rewind, 4K, all that good stuff.
Or watch 20 POVs over at csgo.pglesports.com.
Yeah, you can pick how many players you want to watch. Which is fun to watch, right? Because when you go back and you watch a demo, maybe there's a player, you have a play style that you just want to... For example, if you just want to watch Dexter, which is understandable, you could just see how this madman operates around the map from his point of view, which is always fun.
Yeah, I'd probably have Dexter and I'd have Config.
Blame?
Blame would be interesting. Get to see how this how the pressure of this T side that Config is expected to deliver upon intersects with that of Dexter, who's just coming off of a hot CT AWPing masterclass and bringing it straight over to the CT side of Ancient. And your highlights of the win streak, was it 4?
5 in a row right now.
5 wins in a row for Spirit.
Yeah, it is against the likes of like an NIP Academy team, right? The Young Ninjas or Sinners, Saw, etc. Not names of Astralis' caliber. Matthew was pointing out that the names that they were losing to were Cloud9, for example, or Na'Vi, some very big dogs on a map like Ancient. So we're talking top 10 teams in the world. So a difference in that regard, but still, Spirit have just done it. We've just seen them win Overpass, and we've seen them do it in quite a strong CT side, and that's where they get to pick up. Now, we are getting back underway. Thank you for bearing with us on that technical issue. Zip has the best spawn right now for Astralis, not known to be an entry fragger, so let's see how they slink this one into control. Mid-smoke.
5 leaning A side. This could get interesting. Could be the first test for Siren. And here they come. Oh, again, just so quick. Like, they're already out. They are already throwing the nades. Dexter looked them to react. Siren unwilling to give them anything early. And this is the line he chooses to hold. Config has a deep flash to stop that. And already Dexter's revealed. It's up to Siren. He was flashed as well. Does not hear the plant. Does not activate. Siren will, however, deal with Config. And it's a hard sight to pay the post plan. Let's see if Astralis can flip the script. Not yet. Farley does take down Siren. More in Temple. Resmoking CT. This is going to be very difficult for Spirit to break through. A couple of flashes, trying to regroup their forces. You can see around the world maneuver adopted by Blame. No surprises there. And Patsy's so unprepared, but he gets around the corner. At least he's aware of the fight, shuts it down, and Astralis are really sprinting into these bomb sites now. Back to back, albeit with a pause. But Spirit, like, they have 20 seconds to work it out before Astralis have locked it down.
Well, Faze might go down here as well. Magics will get the kill, not the end of the world. They have enough cash to splash, but 2 staying alive with that AWP. Blame looking for what he can. Now that's a change up. A fast A play after a fast B play, right? And traditionally from the CT side, you will see 2 mid, 3 towards B, or you can see 3 mid, 2 towards B. You don't often see too many teams who start a player A. Some like to get in aggressive, but it's more few and far between. It's not the standard setup here. So Astralis taking advantage of that CT setup after a little bit of conditioning in a previous round.
Yeah, exactly. What would happen if you were going early donut is you sit there and you'd be screaming. You hear the whole party charging. But what a luxury for an in-game leader to have successfully hit both sites back-to-back at the start of a T half.
Shadow spotted on the jump right there. Shot taken from Dexter. So AWP identified right now over towards B. Mid control can start to be taken now by the Astralis side. The Danes smoke off top mid. They send Farley and Config forward, knowing that Dexter very unlikely to be towards Donut. They're taking the liberties here. But Red House is going to be hard to clear against these pesky pistols. Magic's and Siren with a strong crossfire.
Oh, I mean, one of them's going to have to connect, right? Farley's going to flash. Oh, and Siren's already given him the frag. Expect the flash.
He won't expect Magic.
Yeah. Oh! But it doesn't matter. He still gets the headshot. Config. He's going on a bit of a tear here. Chopper's only got the USP. He's got nothing to say about that. The rifle of Magic's long gone and unretrievable. Oh, this is looking like a very imposing force from Astralis.
Config's the perfect bait right now. All 3 CTs want to deal with him in this position. It's such a power position that it's an 8k down, maybe another one to find, more pistol shots taken, another 8k scooped on up. Config just fighting for his life, has grabbed the 3rd, but guess what? B's open, Astralis are in.
They are looking rigid and regimented. Config's already farmed up 3 and 4. It's only Dexter on that AWP. He'd love to hold on to it. Will Config allow it? Just going to have to hide out in the donut, likely hitting a couple of shots should they choose to hunt. But Astralis already looking very fierce. Farley lives on. And that's going to be Config taking an ace here in Antwerp. 3 rounds back-to-back from Astralis and locking down. They've not only had successes back-to-back with BA, now it's a Config pop-off in mid.
That's important for Config here as well. There's some of these players who once they start a half early on a bit of a heater, they get a couple multi-kills. And ace is obviously the extreme end of this. But if they start with a couple of nice kills on pistol and that confidence is flowing and they feel like they can take these fights, they're reading the game well. It's great for a player like him on the T side. So let's see if he can continue to lay that pain down range. Config back in the early days was a guy with a grab, you know, get up to these 12, 13, 14, 15 kills within the first 6 or 7.
Yeah. Oh, he can definitely heat up.
Mr. Flash.
Siren's there. Looks good, but not good enough for Siren's hold. Ahead of the smoke. He may not be prepared for that, but anticipating presence. Glaive, and down he goes. Siren successfully defending the A presence, and already all the pieces start to tumble out of this Astralis tower. Caught in the open. Blinded by Dexter, dunked on by Magix, leaves us to blame.
Oh, we can start laying a little bit of blame to that Glaive flash right there. Just an unforced error, causing a bit of a boost. Now, not even going to clear on down, doesn't get a chance to do so. Siren will pip him at the post, and a clean one there. A Spirit bite back, 3-3 the score now reads. Cash to splash, no dramas there. But Astralis, it was the little details, and then every single fight just didn't go their way. So a really strong defense here from Spirit. What's the change-up going to be right here, right now? Over towards B again with that Farley AWP. Glaive throwing out the mid-util, top in smoke. Infinity Molly right now.
Oh, you're not pushing through 2. You're not pushing through 2 and a HE, so Config will be at least corralled to wait it out. Crawling now.
Spotted him.
He knows where Patsy is, and there's no assistance. The flash is great to at least confirm pressure, but you can see the smoke donut.
Needs a flash, needs
Siren
something.
can push this. He's about to be Molotov'd out. Would love to find something here as he stands and looks to deliver again. This time Patsy takes the fight onto Config. And they'll put the Berserker down early.
A little bit of damage on Farley. Patsy with a second from the heavens. What a proactive mid-hold this has been.
I mean, they're quick to address the issues. You know, this was something that could have bled out.
Did it in waves as well, right? They were happy to let them establish territory and then took it back off them, ripped it out of their hands. Good stuff from Patsy here. Here's that X Factor.
Yeah, and Dexter's got the dream angle. Oh, actually has let Blame through. Not going to be committing through that. Or as nice as it is to bait the AWP shot, you have got such few pieces to work with.
I feel like they have to save right now. I know that there's 40 seconds left on the clock and they're still all postured towards B, but they might not get a chance here. I think Dexter wants to take these guns away.
Oh, fine, he's going to lose it all. At the hands of Dexter, no less, and he's not done. A quick one to Zip, strings them together. And Blame hiding in plain sight. Near the site. Very volatile this game.
The worst, yeah, indeed. I really enjoy the fluid nature of Spirit's defense. They're staying very active. Right? They're constantly pushing and prodding and poking, not allowing Astralis to establish the territory that they may like. And you've also seen the change up from Siren over towards A. That round where he immediately went on over in towards the A main position means if Astralis do want to head A again quite swiftly, they will have to deal with that potential. That has to stay in the back of their minds here. Now, the fact that they didn't save any of these guns other than Blame's M4 means it will just be that M4. And if you caught the death segment before, Devilwalk had something to say about the way that Blame operated on the T side of Overpass when he held onto the only AK. He was suggesting that Blame needs to use it first, not just using the pistols in front. Try and recycle this gun. Allow Blame to proc and prod, and then if he goes on down, someone else scoops it up and has a second crack. If he's the last man to stand before he takes a shot, that's a problem.
Well, it seems to be the case. Here come the Glocks, trying to draw the crosshair away, and this is where Siren can activate, and it is just going to be Blame's AK and Farley's Glock that's opened up the site for a conversation.
I'm not expecting this, is he?
No way. Patsy's already postured, confirms it with the barrel. At least Farley's managed to pick up an AWP, but with such low HP, anything could take him down here. The flutter of a butterfly's wing or a Patsy AK. So Spirit, they will extend their lead. A 2-round gap formed with 3 consecutive.
And this is where the issue is with that Blame save. He is now off the pace with the rest of the team's money. He's like that guy in your matchmaking games who keeps by when you say eco. So unfortunately, he'll have to go down to a bit of a Mac 10 here, and you might want to see him wield that quite aggressively because the 2 rounds, the 2 gun rounds that Astralis have been able to scoop one up have been with pace. One towards B, one towards A, and the other was an ace from Config in middle. Same utility towards mid, the Infinity Molly, the top mid smoke, and well, faster towards A with footsteps. They're going quick on this again, same play as earlier.
And already the smokes are in the sky. They'll be blooming before Dexter gets there. Still has vision. Had a chance. He still has another chance. He goes 2 shy, and already the frags are in the feed. Hard to plant with Magix and Spawn. It's Patsy's flank that's already been cut short, and so Astralis. It's the pace that seems to be the winning condition. But already Magix and Chopper seem to have a little bit more ambition than Aiden could finish it. Clave, 1 HP! 1 HP, it's up to Magix, and he will finish the job. It's just Blame. Chopper's on it. Crosshair, he's not going to spray it, and Spirit recover. Astralis pace does break down the door, but we've got construction and repair in the form of a retake. Magic's up to 9 with Dexter. This fluid defense you were alluding to, it's there, it strikes again. It's a hard site to defend in the post plan.
Yeah, look how quickly they responded to that, right? This is one of the issues that teams have with the A bomb site right now. If you're just going to go A in that regard, there's a couple of things that need to go your way. You had that Blame F flank that previously was able to come around behind, kill Patsy, and then be in donut, right? This time, because Patsy was getting 1 step ahead and was outflanking Blame, Blame felt the need to have to rotate around and go back through main in that scenario right there. When you go A, one of the keys, if you can get temple control and actually scale quite quickly, you can stifle the rotation, you can actually put pressure on CT spawn. You don't want the CTs to have temple, CT, and donut all available as part of that retake. That's perfect for them. What positions can you possibly be in? Sure, you can boost tree, play over towards the platform. Site is a no-go zone. And if you're in main, you get smoked on off. It's easy done. So good trading on the way on out, but Magix found a lot of impact right there. Siren wasn't too happy with how those kills went on down, but I'm sure as he sat and watched from the grave, he would have been very happy with Magic's bullets through the smoke. Plant good, buy back. Astralis 3 rounds shy now of Spirit's lead. A bit more of a standard default spread here. I think they want to put a leash on this Dragon. Very key position from Chopper here, and then the spam on through. Blame knows this very well. He plays it on the CT side for Astralis. As the smoke starts to fade, the molly comes on through. They clear it on out.
You're kind of taking cave and mid control in unison here. You can see it's Patsy that will have 0 to report, a smoke in his face and a full squad. It's almost a similar flight path from that of the pistol, regrouping now. And actually, no, they are crawling up mid, using that red room smoke, and there's no one occupying Donut.
But this is the info game, right? They pushed them back more passively on B, they pushed them back more passively on mid, and now you can actually start to turn your affections and attentions towards the other side of the map.
Oh, Dexter, he's got the perfect line, and just a flash of Gene fabric, and now they commit. Siren not ready for that. He assumed his AWP would be able to provide the overwatch, but just the one. It's Config now, shutting down the rotates. This is good pressure from Astralis. They have the rotate cut off, but Dexter's cutting them off at the heels. Pushing through the smoke is Farley. It's kept level as Patsy already breaks into the site. Farley over the top of the box, lucky to be alive. It's Magic's onto Config, and they know he's low. A nade with his name on it. Oh, down to 4, nearly the collat. He will go down, and Spirit, another successful round on this. A retake. It had a lot more legs to it there from Astralis.
But they're so pesky, right, coming on in. Spirit are killing players who aren't even looking in their general direction, right? They have no idea where this is even coming from. And Astralis did that great job, right? They did exactly what they needed to do, the press. They pressed them back from B long. They pushed them back away from cave. They denied all the mid vision. And the timing of that smoke was perfect. But the fact that Dexter gets away from so many kills right there, that is the real issue. Right, they needed to trade him almost immediately. So Dexter, you can see the grin from ear to ear. He knows the level of impact he is continuing to have. 11 kills paired on up with Magic's here.
He's having a great major. Good to see Magic's as well. Getting the sleep out of his eyes. Back to B. Second letter of the alphabet. Astralis looking for their 4th round. It's been quite the drought. 5 rounds in a row as Spirit ignite.
Might just have to be a B set piece a little bit quicker. A pop and go. Nades are coming.
Yeah, reaction futility's there, and so is Dexter. You're just trying to get this monkey off your back. Dexter still does the damage. Chopper's sprayed down too, and Astralis left wanting. It's very one track, and they are laughing at them with an 8th already. They will win out this CT half.
Dexter is everywhere they go. Everywhere, right? Like, hey, last round in Temple, this round, B pillar. Just pipping you off before you can even get on in, and Zipper's having a real rough go of things. Only 1 kill for him so far.
It's the dream, isn't it, for a CT squad to have a dynamic AWPer who can take his initiative, take his spots, and also hit his shots. He was flashed, still contributes the opening.
The Russian B again here.
Yeah,
Worked for him once.
It's worked once, you're right. Half partial. Bye, and this time it's Magic's that does say goodbye to 1. A second tucked in tight. It's all Magic's. 3 in quick succession, and already that is 2 rounds in less than 30 seconds, Chad.
Yeah, check your clock, take a timeout, do something, cool on out, because this is getting away from Astralis now. I know this is a CT bias map, but in the way that some of these rounds are falling apart, in the way that this is being handled right now, it's going to be a timeout call from Spirit. They're the ones who are going to have a bit of a breather.
Guys,
this is going too well.
Maybe it is just a question of what did you see? Yeah, was there a rifle at the back of the pack? Was there anything that we need to be concerned about, or we got the AKs in for this one? Just another 10 seconds on that.
This is an issue right now for Astralis. We only have a couple rounds left to play within this first half, and we're talking over 10k for 2 of the players, and 2 not too far behind for Spirit, 9.9 for Chopper, and Dexter on 9.1. So the buys are going to be plentiful here. Even if Astralis are able to bounce back with a round, Spirit will be able to buy straight back in, be as threatening as they've looked, continue this dynamic-looking CT defense. And Astralis have been touted in recent times for being one of these teams who are looking to solve Ancient. Well, they're being stumped right now. The only rounds they were able to pick on up was when the economy was a little bit more in flux. Now, all the nades, all the goodies, everything Spirit need, they are putting Pain down range. Pushing.
Whoa, Magic's is pissed. He's furious. They came to his site with a disrespect. Now he's going to lay it back down to them. It's cost him a great deal. Good God, look at their health. And trapped, he cannot relieve. They cannot give this up. A 3-man CT aggress.
He's dealing with this. They'll have to now the smoke's come on over. Dex to be pulled back to CT spawn, and Siren to come on in from Donut. This is drawing away some attention. It's pulled them completely away from B. Look at the rotation. They've left lane.
Wow,
they've given up long, and they've dropped on back, but there's still a smoke blocking the doors that has just faded.
Nice little smoke, and it does leave Glaive scratching his head. They're looking for answers. Who's here? What's here? There he goes. Glaive gone, no one else, not a peep. And it is now Patsy waving the flag, saying, get back to B. No info. Up mid. This is a nice pincer if they can count on Zip. I think our HUD needs a refresh. Farley's the one on long here. And he shuts them down. Config combines. The 2 of them, Farley and Config, get the job done. And it's Glaive's fake that does break Astralis' silence.
Yeah, that was a change-up right there. I think Spirit didn't like it when they got pushed back in towards Cave before, when they lost that control. So they thought, how can we deny that default setup that actually worked earlier? Well, easily, we can go with aggression. But they were so quick to rotate off of a little bit of contact on towards that A site. And look, if Astralis have identified now, yeah, boys, every time we hit a site, they're just full rotating. They're leaving gaps. Astralis can now start to play this style, right? It's a bit more split up. It's hoping that you don't just get stopped with head-to-head counter. Look at all the incendiaries. That's 3 of them thrown at mid to deny. There's no way out.
Yeah, you really have no option. No choice in the matter.
Oh, this is another different look, right? Patsy's jumped up mid here immediately, and look at that nade onto Zip. Comps that one down the back of the collar. 50 points of health remaining. Has to be a little bit more conservative as far as this is regarded. Looks like they want to go late mid here. Does Patsy address this?
I mean, Patsy tends to have a good feeling for it. He's managed to evade the shots from behind. He's dealing with 2 on the duel. He will go down. Combination of hot lead and the shrapnel.
This from Chopper.
Yeah, he's just been spotted on the crossback.
Did Config see him? I think he did.
Yeah, Config's got him on lock. Bait. Where is the finish? Chopper's going to be burnt out. A missed shot. Config will not make that mistake, but Dexter is still in the feed. 15 frags and counting. Man disadvantage still. Regrouping for B. It will be Magix, who is up in the crazy KD realm. 16 and 4. Better equipped opponents this time around. The smoke is great. The nade is better. Zipper's caught 2 of them. He's only got 10 HP. Hasn't seen an enemy yet. Magix has the lineup. You can see his crosshairs placed to deny this bomb. Just shy. Can't find the info. He's just a millimeter off of Farley. But now Astralis have the advantage. Can Spirit kick this retake into gear? Not going to be easy. Starting their crawl. A nice line from Farley, then there's a switch. Oh. It's Siren actually gets them both. The nade gets away as well. Farley's gone. All onto Dexter, but Siren has set him up for something manageable. Here, no time. No time for this, Dexter. You've got to get them both. He knows exactly where you are. Gets them first. He'd need the wallbang here. Or just hope. Blame gives it to him for free. The quick scope misses. No time on the clock, but he will take every single Dane with him. Wow, hectic for sure, but that is going to be Astralis. Back on the board, 5 now, and 2 in a row. What's the CT finances? Absolutely tickety-boo.
Yeah, they've got no dramas, right? We established earlier a couple of players with 10k, so the fact that they can buy out the rest of this half, if they can get 10, they're going to be happy with this. Dexter's such a nuisance, isn't he? He's over here towards B as well, even making a round out of this. That was great from Siren. The Hail Mary grenade, the holy hand grenade to try and get that final kill, but they'd love 10 here, Spirit. They've worked hard for this. Astralis have finally been able to work out and solve this case.
Yeah, they can get a half out of this. I mean, 5 already, not to be snuffed at. Especially on Ancient, especially with the CT. Leniency, aggression already nets them 2. And there's more there. Zip, sick of these nades. Glaive and Zip combine nicely. Patsy's his next victim as Zipex does come alive when he's needed most. Into a very quick 3-on-3. Config leaves mid just as it's cleared through Donut. And Magix already falls foul to the Config AK. They can just dump their util here. They know they're probably isolated. The bomb a bit behind the pack. It's going to be calling Zip into action. Siren and Dexter to slowly arrive from lane and cave respectively. Dexter's AWP. Potent. And he still hits the shot. That might send them up the ramp. Config and Zip have not got any more territory, and now it's Siren that arrives. Astralis, they had their teeth into this one, but completely removed with a swift left hook. It's Dexter for the finish, and you can see how much this feels good for the Spirit boys.
What a play from Dexter that was, because the fact right there that he comes out and he gets that pick, Siren's not spotted, then he runs away, so Config's expecting him to drop on back towards the B bomb site, then Siren peeks on out. So that wombo combo right there was perfect, that lured them in, it baited them into that kind of a fight. So Dexter steps out, gets this kill, Glaive calls the info, the steps are backpedaling here, and then Zip, poor Zip, the guy who had to go back and get the bomb, he was the guy that got the double kill on B lane, is just stranded. So a really good play from Dexter here, staying super flexible throughout. Him and Magix have had great halves, 19 and 17 respectively. The workhorses of the team have got 10 in total for Spirit, and this pistol round, it's going to be worth its weight in gold. A huge pistol round about to come into play right now.
Ooh-wee, yeah, bookies favoring Spirit. I think they're backing themselves as well. Let's see. Pistol time. And indeed, Astralis, this is, as far as the cliches go, a must
pushing main
win.
here, Alex.
They are going to be taking a two-man hold here, ready to disrupt immediately. What was that? The first bullet out of Patsy's Glock, and he shuts down the entire A defense. Oh no.
Jeez.
Astralis evaporate. A gap on the smoke might motivate, but already this is bleak for Astralis. They just catch those first clicks out of Patsy. Oh, go on. Give it to him. Give him the 4. There you go, Patsy. Laying down the law.
These guys must have really strong mouse hands, I think, Alex, because you look at how they give those high fives. They are really putting some power behind those, letting them know they're here in the server today.
Yeah, SDY was talking about how much they can hurt on Twitter.
It's not. It doesn't look like it's just Dexter. It looks like it's contagious. It looks like everybody's just slamming them down. I guess stronger mouse hand, maybe that's the training. Keep it a little bit more precise. Make sure you don't start to get shaky.
It's like the boxers that just kind of slam themselves with medicine balls.
There you go. A couple of gut punches here, there, and everywhere. But this is Astralis into a force. This right now is...
Oh, it's not a great smoke. Patsy's kind of smoked himself off. You can, of course, throw into the wall for vision, but perhaps that's the intention. It does mean that Config will have a chance on the fade. A 4-man lean here from Spirit on the second round break. Config going to be feeling frisky here. The back's away. It's this duel again. It's been quite prominent between the two of them. Patsy and head-to-head Config, and actually just shy of the first bullet, and that's going to be a punish from Patsy. Another double for him on back-to-back T rounds here to open. Oof. Nice from Glaive. It's good on the 5-7, but will go down. And yeah, Blaine, good luck, have fun. Siren will post his 11th, and this is getting into the dangerous waters of a Spirit 2-0.
The timing from Patsy right there was perfect because Config's crosshair wasn't placed if he had crossed, right? So Patsy had found the perfect gap right there, and Config's going to be feeling very unfortunate that that was actually pipped. And the biggest issue right here is, remember in the first half how Astralis was able to pick up that third round? They actually went for 2 consecutive force/half buys. Well, this time around on the CT side, you can't do that. You have to sit back right now and take the full eco. They have a Deagle for Blame, a P250 in the hands of Config, but 3 USPs. And I know they won a round like this on Overpass. Let's see if they can do it again, because I think they desperately need it right now. Spirit should be good for their 13th round of play. What a nade. And look at all this space from Patsy. He really seems like he's come alive on this map. The constant aggressive maneuvers, and he's bearing straight down. Jumped, heard, oh, didn't clear his corners, will go down. A Mac 10 over, and the information isn't great. If Config can get that P250 or the Mac 10 to another teammate, they start to seem a little bit stronger on this Astralis side.
Yeah, Zip's so low from those nades. It's just a distraction, hoping Farley doesn't get cleared as hard. They've got him, and yeah, that's the end of that. Magic sees to it. And nothing to report.
You could see what Spirit's intention was there as well, right? It's not let's just get into the dotted line on the ground where we can plant the bomb. It's let's make sure that any of these pressure points are actually under our control before we attempt to plant that bomb. So any options that could have made this one go a little bit skew-if against the eco was removed. Patsy's aggressive play, sure, it got punished, but it meant nothing in terms of the round right here. And now we have to turn to Astralis with their first CT-sided rifle round.
Yeah, no up on Farley. It's going to be those M4A1. I mean, there is no one better for the role of containing middle, but that's not where Spirit are going. They look like they want to have a little bit of a quick one here. Yeah, Siren, as soon as that molly fades, there will be a well-placed nade. Glaive calling for aid.
Can be mollied here.
Config in support. Extinguished, but still low. And Dexter spotted out. Usually when there's Dexter, there is Spirit. But that's a change of plans. It does seem like they have been completely cancelled.
They could just park Dexter here and wait for any reaggress. Like, he could literally just stay in this position. If there's a peek from Temple, he will win this fight. And his presence alone is scary.
Yeah, Config's going to walk about. He's got 3 up against him. And he's ready for the brawl. 2 of the 3. You'll take the percentage. 666, certainly looking like a beast. And Blame Needs this duel cleanly. Okay, Magix decides he's had enough. Galil versus Blame, no issues. And now it's all onto Zip on his shoulders. You can see Patsy head on a swivel, knows that Zip is present. One single warning shot enables Magix and Spirit locking out the Danes. As easy as that. Dexter puts 2 in the feed, as easy as that. And oh, you can hear them. They're starting to get that vibration that they could be in the next stage of competition.
This is crazy right now. They are absolutely destroying Astralis. This is them on their home map, or what Astralis has tried to make their home map, getting dismantled. 14-5 the score now reads. Money is not there for a buy, which means if they take a partial, they concede 15 more than likely. And that means we might not be seeing the Danes over there in the stage where those tickets would even come into play. They're going to have a 2-2 game tomorrow. It's going to get very dire down there.
Oh man, 2-2 with Astralis in attendance. And also, don't forget, for Spirit, there is going to be a lot more eyeballs on their Ancient here. You know, that 5 win streak you were talking about probably didn't raise too many eyebrows. You talked about the opponents, you know, the tier 2. But coming in here and treating Astralis like this for a spot at the next stage of competition, that will draw eyeballs. And it does seem like Spirit have got a very firm grasp of their intentions and how the win conditions do boil on over. 14-5, and it's going to be an interesting approach from the Astralis boys. They have managed to open up with a frag, which is a welcome change. Okay, Config very brave to be trying to take that fight so actively on his own.
Well, they're going to call B clear, but guess what? It's going to be straight on towards A. You got to do it all right now, Glaive.
Concentration stations for Lucas Rossender. He's got the whole squad just held at bay by his smoke grenade. Support in the form of Farley on the fade. A cheeky bit of leg. Still vision, still threatening. Just pistols, and yeah, you really are losing the angles here. Patsy again, a bit of a difference maker on this D side. Oh, wow, that was quick out of Blame. Maybe there's something to be said. It's Blame and Zip. Regular featured pair up against the 3 of Spirit. But this is 15 looming, and it seems like a certainty when Patsy's in the form he is. Puts himself up to 19. It's all on Blame. No kits, but all of the headshots. Blame F is such a threat. But Spirit now have got 10 opportunities to get to the next stage of the major up against Astralis. Chad, 2-0 is on the menu. In fact, never mind, it's a full complimentary entree.
This right now would require 10 consecutive rounds from Astralis, and that's just to go on overtime. That's just to get us to OT to even be competitive here. And considering now that Spirit have that many rounds to play with, they can throw anything they want Astralis' way. They could be as risky as they want. They can make as many out-of-the-box plays as they're looking for here, because one of them eventually is going to land. They cannot make a single fault right now, Astralis.
Well, what a luxury. I mean, Chopper can call the fruitiest round he could possibly desire.
And have another 9 opportunities should it not work.
Working on this mid control again. The top mid smoke has faded. Molly's both ledge and over towards the cutout position. Flashing forward, Config careful now.
Yeah, Patsy did it. It does not take a lick.
Blame not choosing to swing off the flash. Instead, he will manage to isolate and retreat. Patsy's still alive though, and that often has translated into victory. Magix is already under a lot of scrutiny. He's completely turned tail. And Zip single-handedly has maintained control of B. Blame in support. They're coming. This duel's everything for Zip. The Dexter peak is swift. One to be feared. Here it comes, and he's down again. Blame still kicking up a fuss.
Gap on A right now, but the problem is if they even make it all the way over there, they will have to deal with that retake, right? And we know how potent it was for Spirit retaking that A site time and time again. You can see Magic's already parking himself over towards T-spawn, and with 20 seconds left, this will be a save. They're going to hold on to their goodies. When you have so many rounds to work with, you can understand why this would be the approach. They also know that they did a lot of damage to Magix, right? Zip knows that he put so much pepper as he tried to come through the doors over towards B. So they live on. Astralis will confirm their 6th round.
I saw a gourmet pepper store the other day. I didn't realize there was such a market.
Yeah, like, didn't Bardolph always be a big pepper man?
Yeah, but I imagined he was like, you know, quite a unique individual in that respect. I didn't realize there was a full market for the gourmet pepper.
Yeah, look, I haven't been a big fan of pepper myself, but maybe we can get into it. Maybe we can get into it.
Should have popped my nose in the door.
Well, look at this right here. 25 for Dexter, 23 for Magix, and 19 for Patsy. Those three, and especially as you mentioned, Patsy's impact so far on this T side has been nothing more than immaculate.
Okay, wow. Magix has got a full leeway, and Zipex versus Magix. The duel again goes his way. This isn't the commit, but it's pretty convincing. Farley at least solves the mystery, and okay, the mischief has been managed. The pace sucked out of Spirit. This is CT side Ancient, but the margin for error has been completely removed by the high-flying start of Spirit. Now, interestingly enough, I imagine you were looking at that Dexter bomb as well. Very isolated and making sure presence is still heard towards those A-halls. He is going to start to rejoin the pack now.
The problem is with Siren and Patsy both going here through cave is they have the smoke, so they're not going to be able to do the smokes long and short. They'll be able to limp one out from this position, but they have to take a fight. Maybe it's contact on the menu.
This fight onto Farley, it's unlikely he gets given it. And so they will just do it on the fly. Yeah, no punishment initially. Farley, tagged up by the spray, will force him a little wider. And a smoke of his own could catch him. Oh, okay. At least obscures himself, hiding in plain sight. Caught now, chasing Dexter. Patsy will put him down. Astralis, a little flustered now. It felt like it was in their hands. And oh, Patsy, 2, make it 3, the triple to end it all. It's only Glaive. This is it. Spirit have done it. Patsy again with the multi-kill, and Spirit the 2-0. Oh, Astralis, they are going to remember this game, but Spirit most definitely. Couple of drinks in the bar tonight. Locked in. Left, right, good night. Astralis thrust into the 2-2 column.
Wow, 2-0 in the Danes right here. What a performance that was. Overpass, back and forth, a close game. The CT side of Spirit was immaculate, and then they move on over towards Ancient. And I think everybody would have had the Danes favored in this one, but they got sat down. They got shown how to play right here. That dynamic defense, beautiful stuff, and you can see some glum looks on the faces. I think they know what this means now. The 2-2 column, it's not going to be an easy one to get through tomorrow. Do or die matchup. This was their last opportunity to get on through with ease, and now it's the pressure cooker. Now that's where they find themselves. And a big performance here from Spirit, a team that I think a lot of us were surprised to see even make it through to this stage.
Yeah.
Have now secured their spot in the Legends, so great performance from them. Can only continue to sing the praises of the likes of Dexter. Obviously, Patsy here with some impact. Magic's looking good too. So a great game, very entertaining stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Spirit, you know, with that crazy comeback against G2, just shy. They looked threatening and imposing. We had that Dust 2, and only Dust 2 until today. And now what have they done? They've convinced us on Overpass, and they've convinced us on Ancient. That is something to behold, and something to perhaps be feared and want to be researched coming into that next stage. But what a luxury. You know, you're 3 days in, put your feet up. Mission accomplished for this week.
Yeah, and well, people who won't be putting their feet up are going to be the panel. Maybe they can dissect this Ancient victory, because this was a quick one.
Extremely convincing if you look at all things considered from the side of Spirit. Shell-shocked faces on the side of Astralis, because they weren't supposed to lose Ancient. In fact, they weren't even supposed to lose Overpass. This was supposed to be kind of the most comfortable matchup they could get in terms of qualifying into the Legends. Easily, I should say, but that would be a disservice to the Spirit that they ran into today. Mathieu, they have surprised us all, and I think they have made many people a fan today.
You're absolutely correct. They pushed the boundaries. Spirit pushed the boundaries. I didn't think they had it in them to take on Astralis on Ancient. We talked about all the narratives. We talked about the previous score lines. We explained how this should be the Astralis show. And Spirit gave absolutely zero duck. They took that game to Astralis, and they made them the victims on that map. I cannot believe what I have witnessed.
No, I mean, I'm maybe going to reference what I said in the green room. There was something about that undecisiveness in the decisive moments. Because I think, you know, we were talking, they were working the map control well, they were getting into good positions, they had good entries to the sites. But then everything just fell apart. They were stressed. They weren't as decisive as I want to see an Astralis be.
Yeah, I know what you mean. What we're trying to reference is that Astralis in the early stages of the T half, right? They had their cards, they had the assets they needed, they had the trades, they had the way into the sites, they were using all their great protocols to take control. And this is where usually you actually strike and you could capitalize on that situation. We saw them lose a couple of clutches, and I cannot help but wonder, is that the ghost of Overpass coming and crippling in, doubts crippling in situations they should win?
And you put it so beautifully before when we talked about Overpass for Spirit, the team that is in the disadvantage coming into this entire best of 3. They lose some crucial clutches on their T side, but it does not phase them. In fact, they overcome that and they win Overpass. We see a similar story for Astralis, which is why you were even given Astralis credit as they were losing the first couple of rounds on that T half, because you saw that they had a plan. It was just the clutches that didn't narrowly work out. But that makes it so interesting to me, because I would always have given the caliber of experience on Astralis and on players like Glaive then the upper hand to be able to turn that around and get the stability. But they didn't. And that is what is most puzzling to me on this Astralis performance.
Yeah, that's the narrative that we should follow, right? It should be the players with the experience, with the curriculum that are able to deal mentally and emotionally with losing these clutches. It should be Spirit who's breaking apart and falling down after losing clutches, not Astralis. If Astralis lose 2 clutches on Ancient on the T side, then I, as a fan, as a fan of Counter-Strike, I expect them to stand up on the CT side anyway and close whenever they have opportunities, which they didn't. It's a fragility that I hadn't seen coming.
Let's talk about some of the players on Spirit who stepped up. Of course, everyone deserves their flowers today. Magix is not someone we've talked about so much, but we have referenced him in the context of being a highly CT-rated player in the major so far. But his holds were immaculate, and Dexter just kept doing Dexter things.
Yes. The thing about Magix is I think he's probably one of these players that's super easy to play with. He always sets himself in a position that matches with the other CT player already there. You could see it multiple times on Dust 2. He did it as well here on Ancient and Overpass. He just seems like that.
Take me to that place. I'm stuck within these walls. I need a quick escape. You know where I can go. Take me to that place.
Big balls in these situations where maybe sometimes it feels like theoretically one should back off, but you stay a little longer, you keep the pressure on, and you do it extremely well. Is that something that you've thought about going into this to add to your game, or is it something you've always had?
I think this is that I always had. Yeah, sometimes my team can say that you should play a bit less aggressive, and I was hearing that some captains in top teams that I spoke with says to me that you can do really incredible things, but sometimes you are really passive. And I was wanted to say, guys, when I'm passive, it's not my choice. I just do what my team asked from me. And yeah, right now I feel very good, because after the game against G2, I understand that, yeah, this game was very good for us. We did very good things, we did very good comeback, but anyway, I should be more aggressive. I had these ideas in my head in this match, but I don't do that. And I don't feel that it's my game. I should play more in my style. And now you can see after this best of 3 and one more game before on Dust 2, that works.
Yes.
I'm happy.
We talked together a little bit in
Yeah.
Bucharest, and you told me this isn't the real Dexter. What you see right now, it's not the real Dexter.
This
Are
is
we
real
seeing
Dexter
the real
right
Dexter now?
Yes.
That's the real one?
Yes.
What do you think has been like the click for
Because
you to give that performance now?
I just say to myself that I should enjoy this major, and I should play the games that I really see in my hands.
Okay.
And I'm just doing it. If I will do mistake, okay, then just say it to me.
Did you feel any pressure because
No.
in Stockholm, Astralis? You know that was a hard moment. Was that in the back of your mind? Now you were 2-1 against Astralis.
I will not gonna lie. After first major for myself in my career, I in this major I was in my best form, but I never showed that only in one game against Astralis on Inferno. Right now, I don't feel any pressure. I'm just playing the games that I want to play, and I'm enjoying that.
I'm really glad to hear that. Look, we are not super familiar with Patsy and Siren, sort of new players around the block. Can you give us maybe a few words about these players? They are impressing a lot of people.
Okay, look. First of all, I would like to say about Patsy. He's my ex-teammate in Espada, and I was seeing him when he was 16 years old, and we understand that this guy is talented than other people that we can choose for free.
Yeah.
In this time, we cannot buy players, and we just want to get someone for free. We get him. We had like 1 month bootcamp with him, and we speak with him a lot. We was trying to teach him, and he improved himself a lot after this month. And we understand that this guy will gonna keep with us. So we will not gonna change him. It was like 3 months of changing players, and it was finally the 5 men who was playing very good for us. And he was young. From this time, I'm playing with him. We can find words for both of us, and we support each other. That's great. You can see we are sitting together
nice,
close.
And
About Siren. Siren is a player from our Spirit Academy. He's very good. On his role, I think he improved himself way a lot from the time when I see him first time in Spirit roster. He did a lot of job, and I would like to say to him that he's very good player. He need to understand that because he is feeling a bit nervous. He thinks he reading a lot of commentaries about him, and sometimes he's getting like tilted. And I'm saying, "Come on, Pasha, stop it! You don't need to do that. Stop listening, people. You're playing very good." And I can say that to you. I see what you do. I see what you decide to do. And that's great. You're playing very good. You improve yourself. Just keep it. Don't listen other people. But he's young and sometimes he's doing that.
you can tell him now, go read everything because you just qualified as legends.
Yes. Right now I will tell him, just watch this interview and just watch what people will say about you.
Are you, in that regard, kind of a leader also because you are a little bit older than some of these players in these moments? And are you trying to guide them in terms of, hey, don't get tilted, stay calm in these moments? And does that also translate into
Yes, because in times when I was younger and came to Spirit, I was needed someone who will helps me. And I would like to say I'm not teaching them like I'm teacher and they're my kids or someone like that. I'm just trying to help if I see some moments of mental problems or stuff like that. And if I have experience, I'm trying to tell to my friends what they should do, in my opinion. Always saying this word. It's my opinion. You can do anything other.
Do with it what you like.
Yeah.
In terms of kind of the game and the strategy, there's one very interesting stat that we talked about before coming into the series. It was in situations where you get into a 4v5, you never are able to win the round after that. Now, at the end of Overpass, there were a couple of situations in which Patsy actually died early, and I think you did pretty well. But did you have an awareness that this was an issue for you?
Okay. As I understand you,
yes,
they are losing a lot of rounds when we are 4 versus 5. When they lost first,
yes,
I think yes, that's a problem for us. It's problem for every
Everyone,
single
of
team,
course.
and especially when I was in Espada, we was looking on Team Astralis that destroyed everyone in this time, and they destroy a lot of teams. Because when you are looking on statistic of Team Astralis in these times when they have their own era, they win like 19% or 18% when they get first kill. How can you win them?
Yeah.
If you are losing first player who did mistake, it's very hard to get this opportunity to win round. And it's problem for everyone. But I think sometimes on this major, on a Remer tournament, I'm just looking what my teammates do or what I do, and I'm just getting shocked because they find something incredible like Chopper does. He can run and kill 2 people with only one my flash, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? Hello, we are winning.
The reason I asked it is because obviously it's really hard to win those rounds, but normally teams do get a couple. But it was because in this match specifically, you found so many opening kills and you kind of just like shut it down, and you found situations in which you were in a disadvantage and you did still clutch it out. Final question, Chopper. Sorry, Dexter, because you're talking about Chopper. But final question. You've now made it to the legend stage and in a very comfortable manner. What is the ceiling for this Team Spirit right now?
Ceiling?
Ceiling meaning
what's the maximum
you can
do? The highest you can go.
Actually, I don't know. I would like to not give us any goals.
Right.
We are just playing. In the time when this roster was created, we was not thinking that we will be on this major. Actually, and we are here. Like 2 days ago, after we lost to G2, I say this word to myself: you don't need to think what you should win or who you should win. You just need to play, enjoy the game. And I hope we will go with this emotional stuff to Legend stage and play. Just play, and you will see where we will finish.
It's a joy to see you play, I have to say. We've very much enjoyed it today and throughout the major. Congratulations,
Thank you very
Dexter,
much.
once again.
Thank you guys. Thank you for support. Thank you for everyone who is supporting us. We love you.
Of course. We are going to take a quick break after that, but when we come back, we have 2 best of 3s still left to be played, and ENCE versus Bad News Eagles is up next, so don't go anywhere.
To succeed in this game, you need to invest in yourself. Be daring, innovate, calculate, never hesitate. Follow your instincts. Don't follow the crowd. Back yourself. Bank your wealth. Analyze, strategize, and galvanize. Now is the time. Take your shot.
Esports is what we live and breathe. For us, it's more than a game. It's a reality, where a group of letters can mean everything. Where Mirage is a place for bombs, battles, and glory, not an illusion. Where the true heroes are those in front of the screen.
I'm not alone. There's more to life than this. Show me what you know. Take me to that place. I'm stuck within these walls. I need a quick escape. You know where I can go. Take me to that place.
Saunders.
I really know my way around a pen.
Yes, he does. He knows almost the way around a pen and other things. And on the other side of this board, we have got your partner in crime and commentary. We have got Mr. Scrawny himself, and he's holding an inanimate object.
A Granny Smith.
A Granny Smith apple. Yeah, we don't like Golden Delicious on
Fresh grannies.
here at the PGL Major. We love a fresh granny. Now, your challenge, Launders, is going to be to draw Scrawny in 3 minutes. And to give this more legitimacy as a project of true artistes like we are, we're going to give you 3 minutes to do it. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, hang on. I've got to make it official. And 3, 2, 1, draw. Is there anything that's inspired this pose? Scorny, if you can tell me without moving your mouth.
The freshness of produce.
You moved
The
your mouth.
importance of fruits and vegetables. And the succulence of green grannies.
I don't really want to spoil the surprise too much for Scrawny. I'm quite excited. I'm surprised. Can I say I'm surprised without spoiling your surprise?
This is my good side after all, so he has an easy mode.
Oh, you've got many good sides. Many good sides. Can I just ask if you're inspired by any particular artist here, Launders?
Monet.
Monet.
I like Monet.
He hasn't drawn you as a water lily, though. I can confirm that, spoiler.
Is he going abstract or realism or?
It's 1-to-1.
I can't quite tell yet. That is true. We've got about 1.5 minutes left on the clock, Launders. There's no stalk on that apple. You've made it look like a cherry bomb.
Cherry bomb.
Cherry bomb. Hello, Daddy. Hello, Mum.
Hello, Granny.
Granny. Oh, time check. Time check. Good point. Do my job for me. You've got 55 seconds. Are you going to give her? Are you going to give
I forgot
the
one
ear?
really important
The ear?
My mustache?
You know what? I think this is kind of Picasso-esque.
What do we think about this?
I like that addition. All right, that is your time up. Before you do the reveal, what is the name of your artwork?
It's scrawny. It's a portrait. Scrawny.
Scrawny. You got to sign it. You're an artist. Soon to be on Boxer t-shirts, available around the world. It is Scrawny.
Yes. This is fire, except I don't have any teeth. That makes me nervous.
That's
just gums.
Yeah, no, that's lips. Those lips actually. Those are lips.
Okay.
Stop. I recognize the size.
Thank you.
But I have a bad memory, so I recognize the size, but I have bad memory. I skipped on the roses just because of time constraints.
Yeah.
And this doesn't look that healthy, but
I get the gist of it.
I didn't have all the tools.
I get
in the world,
gist
so,
of it. Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Nice undercut here too.
You kind of look at the Wall Street bets guy.
You got the gauges?
Yes.
Very nice, man.
Can I ask about one thing, which is the way that glasses work? Because I know you're not a spectacles wearer, but I am, and you are as well, Scrawny. What do you make of this situation?
I hadn't noticed that, but I think there is an element of abstract art within this. It is a near one-for-one, but I see Launder's influence. He loves right angles. Look at the Boxer logo, for example. And so that's all this is. It's a small homage to Boxer and the community that he's built.
And where is this artwork worthy of being displayed by yourself?
Right above my bed.
Right above your bed.
I get the pick, but I'm going to potato to your ceiling. So it's the first thing you see right when you wake up.
Brilliant.
Horrifying.
Well, hopefully we're going to make some prints of this so I can have one for above my bedroom too. Thank you so much for joining me for the Artist Challenge. Launders, I didn't know you had it in you.
Me neither. Me neither.
Two regional rivals collide as Outsiders and ForZe are clashing in the next battle for Legends here in Antwerp. One of these two teams will be making it through to the next stage, whilst the other falls to the last chance qualifier tomorrow. Joining myself, Freya Spears, two other legends up here on the desk. We've got Pimp, we've got
Legends?
Maui. Yeah, I mean, you're legends in your own right. You would take that, Pimp, surely.
I would take that, sure. I'm just thinking this guy.
Yeah, thanks, Pimp, man. I'm doing my best, man. I'm trying to become a legend one
It's a
day.
North American legend. It doesn't take a lot of
legend. Yeah, the bar's really low, actually.
Just before we dive into this next matchup on the cards, I just wanted to get your initial thoughts on the Spirit Astralis matchup we just saw. I didn't expect Spirit to be getting that win in a two-map fashion there.
Man, I think when Dexter's on, he looks like one of the smartest oppers out there. There's always in the right place at the right time. And for Astralis, I thought Ancient was a sure thing, Pimp. I really did.
I agree. I feel like I agree with your point with Dexter. I saw him play CT side of Warpath, saw him play Ancient, and he didn't miss a beat at all. He was constantly being disruptive, and Astralis couldn't handle him whatsoever. They got to showcase, that Astralis may not be as strong as we think. And as for Spirit, they fully deserve to go into the Legend stage, especially Dexter, who's been one of the best players in the tournament so far.
Well, we're going to be seeing two other CIS squads go head-to-head head-to-head as ForZe are now taking on Outsiders. I feel like this is kind of the Hadron Collider in terms of the clash of styles coming into this. We see sort of two teams at the polar opposites in terms of their stylistic qualities.
I love that you bring that up, Freya, because we've seen Outsiders in the past just have these slow, drawn-out rounds, kind of prodding in multiple directions at once, and decides in the mid-round what it is that they're going to do, they're almost all just going to jump in on that play.
And there's some history to that as well, because I remember when I was playing back in 14, 15, 16, you almost had a feeling that you didn't want to practice against anyone from the CIS region because you didn't get anything out of it. They would just rush around. They would just do constant B rushes, constant A rushes. Whenever you thought that you could play out a default, you know, someone would rush you somewhere and destroy your whole plan, and it almost felt like a waste of time. So you go up against a CIS team, you know, a young team with Jerry and the boys who still have that, you know, I guess, you know, youth to them, right? They love to play aggressive Counter-Strike. They love to go out there and destroy their opponent and be annoying to whoever they're playing against. Whereas for Outsiders, they were one of the few teams together with Navi who adopted that, I guess, slow, boring European style of playing the advantages, playing the time. And you know what? I like to see what ForZe are doing, and I like to see what Outsiders are doing. But there's no doubt that historically speaking, it's two different eras right now facing each other.
So let's get a quick temperature check on Outsiders, what we've seen thus far in the tournament. Obviously, this is the first best of 3. We're going to see them gracing the stage 4. So what are your kind of takeaways, the TLDR for them so far?
So far with me, when I look at the individuals of Outsiders, I'm not really loving what I'm getting from the likely heroes. Yakinder's been kind of up and down. I think that James has delivered, at least in some moments here and there. But one guy that I have been really looking at and kind of upset about has been Buster. He was a guy that was incredibly reliable for this team, especially on those small side anchors. Frequently, he picks up the secondary op for the team, and he's been their worst performer for the last couple of months.
It's been looking rough for Outsiders. Also, you know, you listen to some of the interviews and you read some of them, and right now there's a lot of rumors about Yakinder. Is he going to stay within the lineup or not? Is this going to be the last tournament they play together as a team? It seems like a very uncertain period. We have the guy on the screen right here. Yakinder is to my understanding, and I guess to a lot of people's understanding, one of the best riflers and one of the best, if not the best, entry fragger in the entire world. So far in this tournament, he hasn't really played up to par, and you can't help to think, is that because he's not sure where his future is relying? Is he not committed to this lineup? Is he also feeling the pressure of not knowing whether or not this is going to be the last tournament with these boys? I can only imagine it's a stressful situation, but I think we can see the result on the server. Outsiders have not looked great so far this major.
Yeah, I really like that you bring up the context that's kind of surrounding this team. We know that Sierra Shovel is definitely Inimo, and Kickout was talking about that himself. I do want to bring up some other statistics from Outsiders though, because as much as we've been talking about this as a kind of CT-sided major, not so much for the Outsiders.
It's kind of weird, right? Because we're in an era right now, Maui, where all teams like to thrive on the CT side. It seems like the M4A1S update, together with the grenade dropping, has really proud the CT side into be a very comfortable place for most teams. Outsiders in this tournament so far, they are the best performing T-side team out of all the teams, and they're one of the worst CT side performing teams. They win more rounds on their T side than they do on their CT side. Another thing I want to note right here is that they find more opening kills on their T side than they do on their CT side as well. That is not normal. That is not supposed to happen. So I guess there's a positive spin right here if they can continue to perform well on the CT side and fix their, the T side and fix their CT side. Well, then Outsiders could be a dangerous team, but it's kind of worrying to me to see this trend.
They even had a positive opening kill percentage on the CT side. It's just that their 5v4 percentage is not that good, and that's incredibly concerning because I would say a few months ago, this Outsiders lineup would have been one that I would have picked to always convert those kinds of rounds because it just seems like they have excellent protocols.
And then coming into this, obviously, ForZe going to be facing them on the other side of the server. It was kind of interesting, the context that they were coming into this tournament, and we saw, you know, some real highlights from coming out of the RMR. But still, some question marks in terms of what we were to expect. They're incredibly new, incredibly young team.
Yeah, they are, you know, and I was kind of reading up at them and thinking to myself, where do I put ForZe, you know, in the landscape of Counter-Strike? What do I really expect from them? The fact they qualified for the major itself, to me, it wasn't a surprise, you know, but it was a job well done. I wasn't necessarily sure that was going to be the case. Then looked up their results. In 21, they played an awful amount of online cups. They just kept on grinding and grinding and grinding, and they ended up winning 7 of those online tournaments, you know, netting themselves more than $200,000 in prize money. So it's actually a team that is putting in a lot of effort. They're putting in a lot of hours to the game. We're just yet to see them do it on LAN, and what we've seen so far, they played a fantastic tournament.
I'm glad you bring that up, Pimp, because it really reminds me of the Nafany-led current Cloud9 roster.
Yes.
A team that just grinded up, that was incredibly hungry for such a long period of time. And the great thing about this lineup, even compared to the Cloud9 roster, is that Jerry's a more experienced in-game leader, but the tools that he's working with are really where ForZe shines. ENCE and Shelfie have been absolute, just diamonds in the rough. These are guys that I didn't expect to necessarily show up for ForZe ForZe. I thought it was going to be the Zorte show, but Shalfie is such an excellent rotate player. His game sense and the way he's able to handle such a variety of situations has been constantly impressive for me.
And note their age, right? 20 years of age, 19 years of age. Those two players are currently the two highest rated players for ForZe, currently the two players they rely on to create the plays on the server, and they're very young, very inexperienced. They've never been at a major before, and they definitely have never felt the pressure right now, but they're still delivering. So a lot of credit really goes to those two.
Yeah, and delivering consistently. Shalfie's only map under a 1.19 rating so far was that Vitality Mirage. Same thing for Kenzie as well, just under a 1.15 rating. And it was really, I think, a testament to them for how much they pushed and prodded Vitality in that series. I wasn't expecting it to go to the full 3, and to see them test particularly Apex so much in that series.
Yeah, I really think that ForZe was pretty close in that Vitality one. Even though the scoreline might not have shown it, they had some good ideas. They caught Vitality off guard a handful of times. But looking at the map vetoes here, Pimp, I think this is actually kind of both of these teams playing to their comforts as opposed to trying to punish too.
Exactly what I would have expected right here. Dust 2 coming out of Outsiders makes an awful lot of sense. They did play it against MIBR where they only won 16-14, but they were up 15-7, I believe, and then they kind of threw away and then had to win the game at the later stages. So they feel comfortable on that map. Mirage makes sense for ForZe, and I just love when you have a matchup where Dust 2 is map number 1, Mirage is map number 2. There's the two most, individually reliant maps you have in the map pool, and then you finish it off with a complete different map in Inferno. It is nothing like playing Mirage. It is nothing like playing Dust 2. So we get to see two sides of the same coin here for both teams.
What specifically are we looking at coming into Dust 2 then, in terms of some of the players you might be highlighting in this one?
Shalfie is a guy that you have to look out for ForZe. The guy is playing the B rotator position on the defensive CT side, and that is something that Jame, Outsiders, they love to hammer that space. They try to see if they can prod through the double doors, and I have a feeling that they're going to catch him a couple times because even though I was praising him for all his skill, I think that Outsiders can just be wildly explosive on Dust 2 in a way that other maps, you might not think that's really the case.
I agree. I'm looking towards Buster, as you also highlighted, right? He's been struggling a little bit. On Dust 2 specifically, he's the only player right now from Outsiders who's not able to produce a plus KD over the last 3 months when they played the map. So that's a weak link, That's a guy you can target if you're ForZe. You can say, okay, here we have a weak link. Let's try to put on some pressure on towards his bomb side to begin with, and maybe that will crumble, or maybe he'll step up to the occasion. But that's one weak link that they have right now when it comes to Outsiders.
And specifically talking about the CT sides for Outsiders, because that's what we've been putting under the microscope, considering they're the 3rd worst rated team in terms of that. Is there anything that you're particularly looking towards coming into Dust 2, considering it is their pick?
It's the impact of Jame, right? He needs to find more impact, and it's kind of like this stylistic class, right? Because we know Jame to be the guy who's a very defensive AWP player who likes to hold angles. He's very often, quickly finds himself in a scenario where he at least considers to save, and when he's in that, thought process, he often ends up saving in a way, and I would just like to see a little bit more aggressiveness coming out of Jame. He needs to lead this team. They're in a strugglesome period right now. He's the in-game leader, so if he can step up and just be a little bit more proactive on the CT side, be a little bit more aggressive, find a little more impact, I think that could be enough to push Outsiders in the right direction.
And it's so strange that we have to want more from Jame on Dust 2 CT side, because T side, he actually has a lot of aggressive plays for himself. But I agree with Pimp that when he switches to the defense, it's almost like he neuters himself. He doesn't want to keep going for those aggressive plays, yet we see on the T side how so capable he is of doing it. So yeah, there needs to be a balance in James' play. He needs to take some burden off of the riflers on his team, because it does feel like a lot of the people on Outsiders right now have a very up and down sort of form, and I think that he needs to be the guy that just makes things a little bit easier for everybody.
And that's one of the most frustrating things when we talk about Jame, because you said it so beautifully right there. He can do it, right? He is able to be aggressive. He is able to be this proactive guy who can go out and sort of like dictate the pace in a sense with the AWT, at least put in some fear to the opponents. We just don't see it enough from him, and that's why I get frustrated sometimes watching him. I know he's able to do it, so why don't you some more?
Well, we're going to see exactly how it does pan out. Dust 2 is the first map on the cards, and to guide us through it is Scrawny and Launders.
Thank you. I agree. Jame is beautiful. You guys are beautiful too. Mal, I love the shirt. Yeah, nice shirt as well.
Thanks, man. I really brought. I think I'm colorful enough. For
I didn't know you watch anime.
Let's move past that. I'm not a phony. I'm not a bald fraud. But I am excited because Outsiders and ForZe. This is ForZe with a very real chance, man. I want to frame this one as kind of ForZe being this sharpened spear, and Outsiders playing as like this ethereal entity, okay? You're jabbing at him, you're trying to get him done with all this preparation and all this form that ForZe have brought into this stage of the major, and yet Outsiders just seem to dodge death every step of the way. They barely get through the RMR. A pixel is what got them here, and now they find themselves with a very great chance at just moving through 3-1.
It's a very exciting life to be playing on Outsiders. It's full of tragedy and success and glory and embarrassment. And I think that's, you know, a life is about both the ups and the downs. Oh, Shelfie. Okay. That's pretty annoying because that was their smoker right there.
Yeah, gonna make this one a little more difficult. Norvi firing off, drops bomb, flits down, and Outsiders, all they wanted was that B exec. That's all they asked for.
This could not be worse. The bomb is in the middle of the tunnel, and they dropped one of their 2 smokes in the tunnel with it, so they can't even exec comfortably.
Now it's looking like a carnival game, dude. Just a shooting gallery into the tunnels, but there's the flash, the best chance at just grabbing that bomb back. Zorte finds the headshot, and it's the same problem with one less piece and one more player on the other end of it. ForZe nice and clean on the CT side pistol. They go for that lower tunnels peak, and from that moment onwards, it is their round to win.
Yes. It's so funny to watch Jay make this rotation, knowing that he has to end up dying in this spot. But he is going to make some kind of play with the amount of time left on the clock. James' favorite resource. If he could harvest it, he would.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Okay, we'll take that first one, man. But remember, if anybody knows how to calculate time, it's James.
It's not him, but who is it?
It's another gush and goes down. So sure enough, it's ForZe with the first round win.
Yeah. Imagine if you could harvest time.
And just save it for later?
Yes.
Like you can with energy?
Energy.
Time batteries?
Why isn't it coming? I mean, they've literally figured out how to harvest heat.
Maybe in someone else's lifetime.
Yeah.
Once that bomb dropped, man, it felt destined to go the way of ForZe, and sure enough, it will. No force buy-in from Outsiders as Dust 2 gets going.
Yeah. Bomb plants are usually pretty easy to get on these pistol rounds. That kind of blows for them. Kenzie has a great position to frag, multi-frag here from Carr.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed. Nice little anti-eco ace.
Kenzie within seconds.
Done. Outsiders time to buy. Jame on the op. From now until eternity.
This angle just rocks, especially versus pistols. Sit back here. One of the most important spots that you need mollies to counter. And he knows they aren't going to buy one. Jame has been setting up to spot this lower pick, and sometimes the worst teams are not smoking deep into mid. This is really important to slow down Yakinder from going into lower every round.
Really repetitive piece of that early T-side setup from them.
Yes.
It's just one that's really hard to deal with, though, as well. You know he's there, but what are you going to do about it? You got to let him have it.
Yeah, it's the most important part of the default. Usually the guy who goes into lower is going to take the first contact the most amount of times, whether it's versus a cat boost, or a guy inside a middle, or someone later on as the entry. Yekindar. The point of that deeper smoke just to buy a little bit more time, but on T side, it's very easy to get all the map control you need for an exec.
Ooh.
Unlike some other maps. That's about as good as that grenade could have gotten.
You love that. 3 players now, a victim of a single A1S bullet. 35 seconds, and Outsiders, this is where they like to do their best work. This player's been boosted on this box the entire time, man. Shelfie. Yakinder, insta-kill, but through that smoke, we get 2 frags back the way of ForZe, and then a quick challenge from Jerry. Jane, nice quick scope, but that MP9 gets the better of him. Yakinder, you can run, but you can't hide. Jumps through the window, and Jerry, with the hot swap to the op and a second kill on that one, ForZe, they're ready to crunch when Outsiders finally commit.
That's one in the butt from Jerry.
Through the flesh.
Pretty absorbent, you know?
Yeah, yeah, thick meat.
Yes.
Look at this trail of pistol players. Outsiders gonna crank that dial. Go for something fast all of a sudden? Yes, sir. Shalfie throwing down util. Zorte is going to miss the first op shot, so Norvi's on his own for a second, and he'll take one. Then we got Shalfie trying to challenge through the smoke. James able to stop it close with that P250. Yakinder a victim of the pistol as well, but James with the last bullet. With the last bullet will get his revenge versus Jerry. However, ForZe continue on with winning ways for the 4-0 start.
Yeah, all things considered, really, really expensive round for what Outsiders brought into it. Purchased up from James, and they'll give it another shot. We had such a standard round, that first rifle round, working into lower control, no aggressive pushes from ForZe. They waited for the mid-B attack. They set up for the mid-B attack, and it's not every day that the CTs will go up on that boost like they used to. That was almost one every 3 rounds a few years ago that everyone would jump up in the CT anymore. So now that we've seen James go for that initial pick in Suicide to spot lower, and ForZe have smoked it, I don't think he'll try to do that anymore. I mean, he can do that, of course, doesn't really use any resources. But I think they respect the fact that ForZe are watching for it.
Jerry trying to stretch around those corners. We're going to get a challenge here inside of the tunnels. Buster with the flash. Norvi pushes in and out. Easy 5 versus 4. Yakinder looking to charge up catwalk. Couple of smokes go down. Jerry very quickly on these rotates. Man, he's been fast. And Sorte is going to be sharp. Headshot on the op. Second right there. 2 more players to drop as Kicker does exit through long, and the bomb doubles back off Cat. Nice utility, nice team play, nice rotations. Very clean gameplay from ForZe so far.
Yeah.
5 alive in this one. Shalfie walks through that smoke as James turns his head, and Shalfie's going hunting.
These are noticeably quick rounds that are coming out of Outsiders. I mean, we're crossing the 30-second mark and everyone has died already. Oh my god.
I love that.
What a move.
I love that.
Yeah.
James said, you want some? Come get some.
I feel like James is feeling it right now, but almost everybody on ForZe is feeling it at the exact same time. They just have to be taken seriously. So some very quick rounds. They're playing CT side. Opera's looking good. They're on the 2-op setup with the full nades. And this buy save cycle for Outsiders. Like you said, rotation's very quick, right up in their grill. As soon as they want to do something, CTs are happy to fight.
Dude, Jerry's just pouncing on him.
Bomb is not getting planted. The first tack pause called here for Outsiders. Probably a good time to do so. We're far from the point of exhausting options. ForZe just want to keep doing what they're doing. They can start to open up a little bit. Honestly, if you're thinking about Outsiders, I think Outsiders, either they're going to take their spawn or they're going to go a lot slower. They don't even have money here, actually, so...
Oh, he sees the hand.
Sees the boost, yeah.
Ooh, the knife out on the player at the bottom.
That was a bit of a mistake.
You know, if only models were left-handed. But he gets betrayed by the bottom of the totem pole. Yakinder looking for that quick answer. Oh, I don't think Jerry saw that one.
I don't think he did.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good. Keeps it clean. Second player there as well, and Flitz. And the A1S damage will soften Kickert. As we see 2 smokes and a flashbang still to be used here on Outsiders. Off coming to support this. Shalfie hits his shot, doesn't get the frag, sends the nade to finish off the job. And not even that can kill Kickert. He continues to stand. Buster, in the meantime, able to crack a head open with that scout. There's a fast A flank, though. And if that scout gets stagnant, then that's the bomb dropped, and any life that was left in this round suddenly evaporates. Norvi a step ahead. Flit over top here. Flit gets a little scared by Jerry inside of the smoke. Only Kickert left standing, as it is 6 straight from ForZe's CT side.
Yeah, they're in the zone. They're in the zone. Every move they're making is working out. I mean, the most satisfying part about watching ForZe from the RMR to now is that all their shots connect. You know, every time they see somebody, it is instant death. And so it just demands that you play the best CS possible. There's another example of it. Zorte with that lightning fast Tech 9. And again, they don't have anything to prove at this point from what we've already watched. Those rounds have not been close. I think I don't know what Outsiders will do. They can be quite unpredictable, but I imagine they're going to try to slow it down because a lot of the rounds they've played already have been quite fast for their normal tempo. And that's been different. Oh my god, that's a quick shot from James on the door cross, and that's Shalfie who is going to smoke into lower. And the one downside about that smoke, of course, is on the initial cross, you don't have the door smoked for the cross.
You got to be fast with it.
You just introduce the ability for someone to have snuck into lower. That's the whole point of the smoke. Game-changing kill from James in round 7.
Yeah, time for Outsiders to get their first round win, but it can't just be James. Yakinder, Buster, Kicker, 2 kills between the 3 of them. They got to flex this man advantage. Very respectful round from ForZe so far as they just sit back and await the attack of Outsiders. Destined for the B site, Norvi. Going to be playing in the open here, so risky business.
It would make sense just to go through with the full execution into B. If they walk in, they'll be open to the Opera who's coming to support. Norvi waiting for the specific fight. Really well done from him.
Zorte, quick jump. Norvi gets away with the freebie. Yakinder's trying to hunt him, but that's Norvi with 2 and Zorte's op support as he burns to a crisp. We get man advantage back in the hands of ForZe. They're gone. They give up on that attack. And now it seems like they need to transition into this cap play, which would be held by Kenzie in the corner. Which that should catch Flit off guard, but a duel picked up by Flit pushes Jerry upwards on the rotate. Frag grenade indicates the spot, but a nice kill from Jerry and no chance from James. He doesn't chase, he doesn't try. 10 seconds fizzles out and a 7th consecutive for ForZe.
Whoa, Flit could have made the difference there. He did approach that fight really well, but the aim from Jerry made sure the bomb couldn't cross on his site. If Jerry goes down, James has middle. They're going to run right by him and get opt. And there's the difference. But look at the B side. 3 players dead entering. And it's because of that great off angle from Norway to kill Buster first thing. But with so little resistance in that round and Outsiders getting the opening kill within seconds of the round starting, they had every right to hit the B site, but they could have also done it with a full exec and caused a ton of problems there for ForZe. Now, they didn't want to elicit any counter grenades, of course. That was the idea. But this obviously cost them. ForZe read that situation really well, set up for a walkout, and equalized before the exec happened.
This time Norvi, again, separate angle, then he tucks. Oh, Shalfie with the support off of the frag, that's nice. Still though, a chance at an exit here from Outsiders. Shalfie's gonna put up that temporary cover of the smoke, gets lost inside it, goes over top it, finds Yakinder with his head turned, and all the while he still has 2 players on him. He's gonna get another. James will clear it in that backside, immediately turning attention back into the tunnels, where slowly Zorte comes, already scoped in. Nice flash to get him off of it, force the shot out, and then give James the advantage of just staying posted. Flashes go a bit too far. And windows under question here from Kenzie. He drops that bomb, looks to extend, and what's James' play? He knows he's pinched. He knows it's problematic. Kenzie comes through smoke and ends it. ForZe seemingly can do no wrong.
Yeah, they agreed to go through at the exact same time, and Kicker decided not to put the bomb down. They want to establish. James had an opportunity to get that kill inside of tunnels, but it was played well from both sides. I mean, he flashed the Opera off the position. Opera still had some dates to counter and move to the other side. Made sure not to just take that fight dry. Another tactile called here for Outsiders. This might be the quickest Outsiders match that we've ever seen.
And partly they're playing quick too, right? I feel like some of these rounds weren't boiled down to 30 seconds. Like, I've seen them crunch, what, mid to be 25 seconds once? ForZe giving them the space, and Outsiders not sticking landings, man.
Again, I mean, ForZe don't have to talk about much. Everything's good, really. Like, they can go more aggressive if they'd like to, but they've won the 5v4 now. They've won the opening kill a number of times. They've read the exec. The B site holds have been good, and it's Outsiders who have spent most of their time trying to hit B every single round. Oh, and Zorte kills James going for the aggressive pick on middle. He saves those for rainy days.
Oh!
Oh, and another one jumping up on the Xbox.
He sees the
going
third.
back for more. There's an arm.
He's going to get out of there as Kenzie is able to get his kill on long. Zorte's not going
Holy
anywhere.
hell, look at the confidence on this kid.
Again, that consistency, right, in what James has been doing. I said, oh, it's hard to deal with that, but Zorte decides to take matters into his own hands. And if anything, you know, I feel like if Outsiders must have felt good that James was able to get that pick at the start of a round or two. Like, if anything was going their way, it was that. And now even that strategy has a question mark put atop of it. ForZe 9-0. 9-0 CT side Dust 2.
No answers, no long control. They've tried damn near everything else. One really meager cat hit that just got shut down by Zorte with the op. And I still don't even remember when the last time the bomb had to be defused at this point. Did Outsiders even score a single plant? Has there been a retake?
They always get swarmed and interrupted. Chance at a walkout here. No bomb control at 15 seconds. Just looking to shave CTs off. But I mean, the money's just near non-existent, man. Kicker's out here. It's going to die before time. Yikinder keeps the op. Kicker wanted money. Counter-terrorists win. There's the 9th. Locked in with 5 up on the CT side again, dude. $12,000 in the back pocket of Zorte.
Yeah. Kicker was on AK, right?
Galil.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a weird one. He's almost in the same spot.
And a third tactical pause here from Outsiders.
If they don't reinvest, that'll be even more strange. Yikinder is the one who saved the op, so he invests into grenades. There's no buy behind it, then it wouldn't make sense for Kicker to have died just now. But it looks like that buy is in fact coming in.
Bomb hasn't been planted once.
Bomb hasn't been planted once. And they tried.
Yep. 2 rounds by way of time. All other 7 eliminations.
They secured the B site. They had a 2-on-2, and they lost before the bomb even got planted. That's how good ForZe are playing right now.
9-0.
They got to be respected.
You know, they got through their first challengers swiftly on day 1.
These guys are the #1 grinders of these past 2 years, playing every goddamn cup that you can think of in this crazy circuit that we have in Counter-Strike.
Now in the big game, the big event, shooting for that 3-1. And if you get 3-1 and your only loss is a 2-1 series versus Vitality, and ForZe are turning heads. Incredibly well-earned lead so far on Dust 2. Another chance for Outsiders. No op duel down those doors at the start of this one. 5v5 at the minute 15. Kinder's got to dodge those bullets. All good. Smoke is down, and the catwalk under question. Kicker now has 2 players with weapons to join him. See if Zorte is able to handle this heat as he locks into the goose, sees those smokes come through. Frag's just searching for damage, and it does some. There goes Yikinder. First shot popped. Kicker next up.
That molly's no good.
Next down.
He still has the whole ramp to himself.
Rock solid defense, keeping Outsiders at bay. And Flit just waits out the smoke, having lost his 2 teammates and being able to do nothing in response here. 30 seconds left over. Bomb still, again, on the cusp of catwalk, but now Kenzie feels that aura of confidence, decides to go rushing at middle, and he could just gun them down before they even have a chance. Down goes James. Buster's going to try his damnedest to get the entry. Shalfie there to stop it. And every time this bomb tries to change positions with Flit, it's a rock wall that Outsiders simply can't get over or through. 10 straight on this CT side. Double digits without dropping 1.
Yeah. No pickaxe, no ladder, no shovel. No hope. And they die after time. Oh my god. Bad goes to worse.
No explosives, no wrecking balls, no bulldozers.
Yeah. This is like the first episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Pure tragedy.
Nice move, Joe. Like you said, Molotov didn't stop him, so he felt comfortable to just keep swinging. And that's Flit after time. So Flit with a Glock and a smoke and $100 to spare. Outsiders with despair as they're going to try to just smash their way into the B site yet again. Norvi, flashbangs eventually get the better of him, but so are the T's. Blind as a bat as he just locks this in on his own. Kenzie, he'll find one kill. Jame waits in tunnels for the delivery of his op. Hits the shot to Norvi. Pressure still applied as Kenzie comes through with kills and fours fly forward on 11.
You don't play like this unless you know you won. That's the kind of pushes that we're seeing right now. Fantastic performance in the B site, man. Like every single position is just around the tunnel, slightly different. Lots of nuance and only success. You know, I don't think there's been a single failed hold. Even if he's ended up dying, it's with a kill. Long hasn't been tested almost at all, so it looks like Outsiders will finally attempt to go over here.
Jerry down into the pit.
Jame with an opening.
Oh my god, these flashes so continuous. Kenzie's on his head! He's getting Gooba stomped! He's standing on him. He's standing. I've never seen something so disrespectful.
I don't know how he got there.
He's standing on him like he's just a cardboard box.
What did he jump? What did he jump on to get on top of him? Was he crouching and then he said, hey, okay, stand up, and then he jumped and then he stood up and then he was jumping on?
Man, fours aren't just in their heads, they're on their heads.
What in the hell?
And Jerry's not going to let that pressure slip. Comes walking around mid, doesn't see him here. Oh, kicker. Nicely done. Pops up, gets the headshot. This could be the round for Outsiders finally. A man advantage in the CT split 1-1.
Can we get like a third-person replay of that Kenzie moment, like to understand exactly what happened there? Like how I don't know. This round is Outsiders' biggest chance so far in this half. We'll have to work for it a little bit. Back towards late long. As soon as Zorte falls off his post, he'll come back to it. And he misses a shot. Finally, Zorte misses. He finally does miss. He can miss.
He can miss. Norvi looking for the clutch.
They don't even have the cross.
Nope. Bomb's already made its way up catwalk, so Norvi, call to action here. At an 11-0, go ahead. Try your damnedest in the 1v3. Kicker, that nade just dropped him to 50s, so that's two players nearing half health. And Norvi, again, little to lose here, right? $12,000 for Kenzie in the bank, Zorti on 11K. Let's see the attempt. Flit locks into the box, and the other two still yet to cross deep down long. Norvi, yeah, more concerned about the ramp play than anything, so Outsiders have broken through.
First one's the hardest.
They'll have 3 more chances to keep this one as close as possible, but Kenzie, underhand flash, jumps onto his head as he crouches in the corner.
Oh my god. He said, hey, you're not Blue Bin.
What the hell is that? Like that weird fungus that takes over insects in the Amazon. Ugh. Give me the heebie-jeebies. All right, Outsiders. Feels like they, you know, succeed in adversity. What is...
Oh man, Yakinder, how did he gush him? He must have hit him running through the wall. He full peaked, but first bullet didn't do the job. And right now, when you see anybody on ForZe, you got to kill him the first time. Shelfie's out of there.
Shelfie even gave him like the delayed reaction. The fact that he's still alive, falls back, plays A site. Long doors under question, thanks to Kenzie, tucked close to them. Kicker leaves the post. That's an open flank if ForZe decide to pull the trigger on it. And Outsiders can always get to mid. They can always get to box. They can always question Cat. But it's moving beyond this point as Kenzie rounds the barrels, sees 2 players bottom mid, does damage, decides to repeat as both of them look back at him. That is his 17th and 18th frag. Flashes his way back towards middle, catches James jumping in the corner, and that is just a collapsed pile of corpses outside of door. No footing for Outsiders in this one. They go stagnant in mid, and ForZe respawn back. A singular round for Outsiders still.
Yeah, this is a 2-1 match, and this round it feels like Outsiders are not playing like it whatsoever. Not even punishing that peek from Kenzie after he gave him an opportunity. They are picking the right times to push. They're getting damage off. But Outsiders aren't shooting back.
How does he survive that?
Kinder has 1 kill so far. Buster and Kickert have 2 kills each.
James trying his damnedest as he just racks up his 12th. As many kills as his entire team combined. Shelfie floating in through middle, decides to double back through the doorway. Long's been relatively underplayed, but looks like Outsiders are going to come for it. CTs look to stack up close. If there's a flash here, that may work. But everybody's dangerously close to one another. Yakinder tries to go in. Shelfie point blank. 2 kills with the op. Total dominance on Long this round. And with a minute 15, Flit just tries to creep out towards mid. There's still so much time to play. And yet the numbers, the bodies. Flit stuck in this corner. They could have heard that tap. But Jerry won't know if it's in the corner or if it was back through those doors. Jerry, he's going to fall to Flit as he forces the fight forward, falling. Gets back as Kickert looks to join James on the clearing of the corners. Norby just beckons them in, plays shadow advantage, but we've got kills here for Outsiders, and by the looks of things, Launders, a 2nd round.
God damn. They even pulled that walk up onto Long. It was the right play to make. And then Shelfie just shut them both down with that off. They could have very easily lost already at that point, but full credit to Outsiders. They scrapped for that. So winning all their duels in mid, even though Shelfie did so well early on. He has to save 5 HP. With his, what's that, a Gungnir?
That is a Gungnir.
Gungnir.
Yeah. Yeah, that it is.
Pray.
You know what sticker that is as well?
Which Cologne 2016. No. It is.
Come on now, 3 boxes. The triple boxes, Launders. You can do it. You've been doing your homework.
It's triple boxes.
3 boxes.
It isn't Berlin because that was the trucker one.
Yeah. No, that was Krakow, but
Berlin. Then Berlin.
No.
It was. Okay, I'll do one more.
Think hard, man.
E-League.
DreamHack, man. Oldie, a real oldie. And a real consistency has been James kind of tagging people, killing people, doing what he does on that mid window. Mid door. A door is not a, or maybe a door is a window. Who am I to judge?
Semantics.
Maybe windows are doors.
Norby on the op.
Not a collateral, but a nice first open. Buster's down, Flit's close, and Norby is hot. Literally, fire on his feet. Yakinder burns him out of the position, and Zorti's sniper is going to miss. Ooh, interesting. Yakinder getting Zorti through the smoke reopens this round, and for such a quiet half from Yakinder, it'd be nice to see him get an impactful moment here just to get Outsiders that bare minimum, that 3T round wins. Frag grenade banked off of the plat, does nothing. And it looks like ForZe just want to sprint through this window. They're going to burn out the back plat. And they're going to back up a little bit. But, I mean, retake needed. So here comes the util. Kickert just pressed up close against the window itself. Finds the head and the second as Yakinder also a trio of frags in the final round of their T side. Final trio of rounds as well.
Yeah.
12-3.
So that's 3 of the last 4 for Outsiders as they round up the first half. And, yeah, wow, it's a good sign, at least for the sake of the match. See if they can actually turn this into a competitive game. But as far as we're concerned, ForZe are the best team in the server. They're owning. They do everything right. They have They're even strength on both sides of the map. Norway had an absolutely fantastic match from the perspective of fragging, being dynamic as a site anchor, being aware of almost every style of hit that Outsiders were going to bring towards him, and never let his team down in terms of dying before getting a frag, making the rotations easy as hell.
Kenzie ends the half 20-4. Shalfie and Norvi both right behind him. Yakinder on a recovery of his scoreline, and Outsiders, them too. Important pistol here. James, Flit, both looking to face and an early kill as that conga line of T players starts to work forward. Not half bad. Flit forces into it. Sorte with the 2 kills back, but Kicker, again, just getting these ones through the smoke. Like, take what you can get. Man advantage as the bomb has already crossed onto the ramp. Second player here, and Shalfie's just going to lock in on Carr. Norvi to the USP. P250 now found. And Shalfie feels like he's being pressured, so he decides to fight his way out of that position. He's going to go and hunt Yakinder. A 1v1 for him as Norvi comes in with the kill, but Norvi, he's also got that coverage. Shoots down onto the CT ramp. Yakinder onto the clutch. 1v2 as Norvi falls away. Bomb, obviously not planted for it. And this one's weird, man. Oh! Yakinder peeks down into the CT slope. See you later, sucker. Outsiders pick up second pistol.
Norway makes a weird mistake there. That one might have been nerves. I don't know. He shouldn't be playing scared either, considering how good he's been, how good his team's been. Dropping into spawn. Just giving up a very good spot. He could have played it from basically anywhere on the site, and it would have been compelling. Try to get tricky with it. So, all right. There's something. Outsiders, they'll take any leverage they can get. Players in the team looking to recover their score lines between Fit and Yakinder especially. Of course, it appeared James has been playing well, so that's just, at least in terms of the opening duels, that's all Outsiders had to lean on at half number 1. Yakinder opens up with his first.
See Yakinder in that kill feed more in the last 3 rounds than the entire first half.
Yeah, he doesn't sleep for too long. You know, he said, I was like, you know, like, do you ever feel like what you do wouldn't work if you just didn't have as much confidence as you do? You know, you really haven't seen yourself lose. You've had just good months over and over again. And he was like, yeah. I just think about the fact that, you know, I've done Taekwondo and competitions all throughout Europe my whole life. I've like fought people. I've had my nose broken. And then I come into a server versus a bunch of sweaty nerds, and I think, well, why would I be scared of them?
All right, establish dominance. Alpha mentality. Jerry, ooh, he gets close, and he gets Kicker. Flit comes over, Kenzie there with the AK support. Now, they don't know about James, and that's the numbers game, baby. Sorty's going to peek into it. James gets there with a prolonged burst. He'll also find Kenzie. So they're just feeding kills into James. He just locks in that ramp control. Not half bad, but everybody from Outsiders is going to have to retake up that very same ramp. Jerry decides to peek forward. He's incredibly low at 15 health, but now hands on the AK, and he goes down with nothing. Norvi slides into that position, and it's James with a multi-kill. A crucial 3K to give Outsiders their 5th, to keep Majority alive, and to keep the hopes and dreams of Dust 2 alive and kicking.
Yeah, another good round, opening kill. Easily done. ForZe have afforded themselves a situation where just, you know, a couple of very strong entries. They already got a bomb plant, which is better than anything Outsiders did for about 12 rounds in that first half. So, rounds to play with. They don't have to overinvest here. They'll buy some pistols. Good to see Outsiders waking up, getting the crust out of their eyes, taking a shower, having a coffee.
Oatmeal and blueberries.
Sometimes you don't know when inspiration strikes.
And remember, Outsiders, dude, they are that anomaly. They are the undying. ForZe would not be the first team that Outsiders would rip that heart out, crush it in front of them. Yakinder serves up a reminder to Shalfie. Down to 30 health right out of the gate. Fallback immediate as well from that little bit of a tunnel's pry. Meanwhile, Kickered on the boxes in mid. We got numbers here for ForZe, but utility should hold them back. Frag and fire, sure enough, they wait. Have still tidbits of utility. Get a boost inside. That one gets predicted by Jerry. Good read. He's got an entire pack of players right behind him, and then suddenly everybody's going to redirect, because if they saw that boost up, then they're thinking less numbers on Cat, less numbers on A, and they'd be right. The M4s come back up that ramp. Jerry and Sorte will drop 2 of them. Jame gonna get 1 kill, but then miss a shot and be wary of the long play. Nothing there just yet. Shalfie's so far back.
Yeah, it's awkward for Jame, but there isn't actually a threat, even though he perceives there to be. It's coming out late, but his team is getting in position to deal with the Cat presence, and now he's getting tucked in nicely to blue bin. They can start the retake without him, basically.
Bombs down.
No rifles for them to pick up.
Real close,
Yeah.
easy couple of kills on that one. Jame just dodges deagle shots, and Outsiders will lock this in.
What's that? Weakness?
What? I can sense it.
Little blood. See if Outsiders can tap into that vampiric aura. Start to feed off of it. Some shots being missed. Not the same level of presence that we saw on that CT side. And for themselves, looking around and seeing each of their teammates doing a bit better here and there. Buster still bustering out. But outside of that, not too bad.
Got Flit inside smoke here. Okay, bit of damage. Goes for the wild spray. Kicker gets called into that fight and now takes what was a very dangerous position for Flit away from him.
I can't believe Kicker gets out of that. Such low health. I mean, for ForZe, they're pretty confused. The amount of CTs that were just lingering there was so strange.
Flit wanted nothing to do with it. Kicker's like, I got you. Takes up the roll, and they both still managed to get away. Nice flash in. Flit. Good damage onto Norvi. He gets 1 kill and the dink.
Yeah, and that was Flit, a low player who got flashed in.
CT's still stacked up. James going to miss the shot, but Yakinder's nade finds its target, and Kenzie will die empty-handed. A fast flank from Buster as well. Should have this one all wrapped up.
Ooh, a little messy.
Jumps into the pit. Shelfie toying with James.
You could feel that.
He lands it perfect. And Sorte, the last to fall as Buster comes through those doorways. Outsiders CT side is starting to make people nervous.
Yeah, starting to crank the dial. Gas stove is going. Cast iron's heating up. Takes some time, but it's got a high smoke point. Tac pause called. It's the first one for ForZe.
That's where Jerry's got to do his best.
Yeah, which is great for them. They look like they're just getting shaky now. There's nothing too complicated about Dust 2. We know ForZe want to play it. But that long hit wasn't spectacular from the perspective of the approach, especially from what we could see. That was messy from Outsiders. I think it's actually good to know that you played a round that was messy from your own perspective and still won.
Sure.
It's all of these little things piece into the puzzle of the tapestry of a long comeback. And Outsiders have now knocked that out. Okay, we kind of messed up long control, but we still survived it. That shows us some resilience in ourselves. Mixed by here as Jerry's got the hero AK. Fitting for the hero that he is.
Kicker warned of the AK here in the hands of Jerry. The solo AK. Deagle's all around it. A very healthy amount of utility, in fact, from ForZe.
They could probably read the buy. Actually, I think it's pretty obvious the money that ForZe have because of the streak of rounds that Outsiders have won.
Jane pounds one through the doorway, misses its target.
Quite a bit of utility here. So ForZe have a vested interest in, yes, like, finding fights, but at the same time staying alive first and foremost for whatever exec they want to pull off. Doing a good job of evading a lot of the grenades coming their way.
Buster and Yakinder here inside B site. Buster's going to get flashed in. Perfect utility, but only one. That pillar saves the day for 2 of those players. There's still fire all over the front of this exit. Jerry gets out to middle for only a moment before he dives back into that door. And ForZe, they decide to give up that B pressure, so James doubles back, sees the cross, counts the sheep, and shears Norvi down. Jump up over, will escape. That still damage. Sorte hit for 30 on the op shot, but we got a CT locked into Goose and another one standing on the ramp. Nobody's going to clear Goose fast enough. Kenzie loses his teammate, and Kickert's right there to trade frag. Now Sorte solo on his own, peeks into Jame, and if he kills Kicker quickly, then Yakinder can't come stop him, but that disjointed timing, still, he has a chance. He dives into the cover, and that means he's already thinking about this position from Yakinder, who has to be sharp. It's confirmed. 8 shots, 70 health, and Sorte just waits. Yakinder throws that frag deep, and it is on the money.
God damn.
For somebody who had such a flat-footed first half, Yakinder with a critical clutch, and he has tied his score at 13-13.
Yeah, he won't end slow. He's too consistent for that. Back in the game, Sorte, what a try, man. Couldn't have played it better. Absolutely did such a good job of isolating each of those engagements, hitting on the first bullet. He was thinking fluidly. I wanted that for him. I would have been a clip for sure. But ForZe beyond that, they still have to prove they can just win a standard round. Coming down to a clutch would be nice, but I can't believe the story has changed so rapidly. Again, one of the fastest dust 2s that we've seen with outsiders involved. And a second tack timeout would be called from ForZe. That rotation was quite hasty. You know, up until that point, it was a 1v3, so it was a very good round from outsiders overall. They did throw that flash attack in from Buster, and he only found 1 kill and failed to disengage fast enough, which gave ForZe an extra gun, where they only had Jame on the original AK, or sorry, Jerry on the original AK. So their odds did go up a little bit there. But I don't know, their rotations haven't been like incredibly surprising, I'd say, from ForZe. They aren't doing anything that I think outsiders are worried about right now. And Yakinder's now on the op.
And opens up. Now a positive score. It's going to leave the T's kind of stalled out inside of middle, and Buster's going to waste no time, dude. Outsiders are starting to feel it.
Yeah, full press in tunnels, hopping literally.
3 players ready.
Into mid from lower.
Kicker's going to get flashed into this one, but they were turned away from it. So reading into it, still Jame there to at least lay down the law. Flit extends around that box, drops bomb, confirms a ton of numbers. Yakinder with a Tech 9.
He's pissed. He literally has an op on his back, and he's here with a Tech 9.
Who needs it? He's got the pocket rocket. He's hot on their heels. Shalfie's going to get ended by Flit. And a missed op shot will be the end of him. Flit with a 3K on that support. Helps out Jame. They throw Kicker into the pack of wolves that were on Catwalk. And outsiders come out with another. This is a flawless CT side so far.
Outsiders are white hot.
There's the first one. No pressure in upper tunnels. Probably, helps Buster go into it and confirm. And then Flit awaits them with open arms. Sortie, scout shots.
Oh! Oh my god. 2 heads in a row.
Quick little collateral. That's the cantaloupe and the honeydew, and Shelfie finds the watermelon. Pop noggins all over the place.
Yeah, they got a collection.
Shelfie decides to walk away. This is turning into something. Outsiders, they are on fire. They have not dropped a CT round.
Yeah.
And unlike that of ForZe, which was just this clean streak of 11-0, every site hold, no bomb plant, these have been outsiders types of rounds. Getting nitty, getting gritty. And getting ever closer to tying this up.
The fact that this game was 11-0 and Jame is still 23-14 says a lot. He was doing a lot of good of getting opening kills in the first half, so obviously those 3 rounds or whatever it is that they got mattered a ton.
3 of the last 4.
So.
Ooh, but that's clean.
Well, okay.
Norvi gonna smack him back with the scout. Jame quickly into position. And he gets a chance to go towards window, so that's where he'll find Shalfie trying to run and support this bomb. Oh, Jame, dude, feeling it. Giving them no chance as he continues to apply that pressure physically, mentally.
Yeah, he's been playing with a ton of confidence.
Outsiders now on 10.
The story changes just so fast.
X-Ray, there's 2 players
Damn,
there.
That's a Colette.
Skewered.
You and your friend.
Fastest 5v3 I ever did seen.
It's not proper grammar, Connor.
Sometimes it be like it is when it don't. And I do. Buster flashed, but around the corner. James just waiting and waiting. And as he leaves, they finally go for that boost. So he didn't have a bad idea, just didn't find the proper timing. Outsiders really giving all the space here to ForZe on Cat.
Kind of a milestone, crossing 45, 5 alive. Oh my god, the double mollies and nades. That's just to let him know, hey.
Yeah, you want it?
Yeah, that's so much info. I mean, it's actually ridiculous. 3 mollies saying, hey, you know, if you come to the A site, we just literally told you how many people are here. And now it comes down to ForZe if they read into it or not, but they are just running right into the stack.
Jerry read like a book. Kinder clamps down on him, 20 seconds. They are playing against the enemies and the clock, but Zordy will find Jame. That helps.
10 seconds.
Kicker's been on Goose a time before, and as he holds it, it's Kenzie to trade it. Grabs the bomb right back, just a couple seconds to spare. Yakinder could try to jump stop, and he won't. Oh, yes, he will.
Oh, my God.
Beautiful. 2 jumps, 2 kills. The final second of that plant, and he takes it away. Outsiders are soul crushers.
Man, I didn't think he'd go for it because the op was covering, but he waited just long enough. And there was too much going on. Not even a bomb plant.
That comes so close. He starts it at like 5.5 seconds.
I can't believe he doesn't even get it off. That's crazy.
That's so close. Oh, that is such a gut punch. And now ForZe to try and hold on to this lead that they earned so heavy-handedly. It's going to be a bit of just a clash into the B site. Buster locked into the car here. Yakinder's going to go down with no frags, and Buster's fully blinded. There it is. Double entry from Zordy. What immediately challenges into the car, but Shelby's found his hands onto the M4. James shows his hand. Kicker throws his nade. That's Zordy down to 12 health. ForZe may have just broken through, finally able to crush a round out of Outsiders CT side, and it comes by way of B-Rush.
Yeah, they go take 1 late flash is enough. They surmise the entries. I was on a plane that landed. It was a smooth landing. I saw the pilot on the way out. I said, hey, that was a nice landing. He said, as I was turning the corner, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once a season or something. And I think that's kind of a good example of what we just saw right there.
Okay. Yeah, well, a couple more nuts and ForZe are on 16. I also don't want pilots to refer to themselves as blind squirrels.
Yes, I don't want lucky pilots at all.
Sir, sir, I'm going to need you to be good, not lucky.
Yeah.
All right, ForZe, that's something. Something's better than nothing. Double op setup again between Jame and Yakinder here. Outsiders, a well-earned streak of rounds. You know, in a weird poetic way, this would almost kind of be like ForZe giving Outsiders a taste of their own medicine.
I think it's going to be quite clear, actually, to Outsiders that Buster is very targetable right now because he's basically the only one who hasn't recovered in this game so far. So he's standing out, and I think Outsiders will know that as well. But they have to play the game of looking at other parts of the map. But I think ForZe are quite desperate here, so I'm actually not surprised to see the op come over into this position. And oh no! Yakinder goes down.
Look how
Buster
fast.
will need to do it now.
Oh, he's so blind, and he's dead with nothing. James, he's got a couple players on the cross, but the smoke already pops. He's already just securing his exit.
Shelfie's entry.
Dude, that is so quick. With an op posted on the exact peak, he just rocks Yakinder's world.
Yeah, Buster's been a liability. Yakinder was a mercenary called over to help out the B site. His cameo this round only. Op involved. Takes a deep angle versus the plate that it would have worked out. I mean, it should have worked out even versus the AK. Shelfie absolutely had to make that a first bullet performance, and he did. Carrying on from the first half.
Damn.
They'll find 2 nuts this season. And also, I don't know, this doesn't break the money, so that is something for Outsiders. At this point, it's just extending, you know, the length at which they have to go just to tie up. We have never crossed the point where ForZe have given up the lead. It's only been within arm's reach. So that's going to feel good. Unbelievable.
And, I mean, it's ugly, but it works.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're blinding Buster.
Yeah. Yeah, Norwich shooting.
Nothing ugly about that from ForZe's perspective. Buster has been eating flashes like it's his favorite food.
Yeah,
Every round, he's eating it, whether he's at car or in front of the tunnels.
Norvey gave him a chance, man. 10 bullets in the dirt. And just a couple in the gut. And nothing was cleaner than Shelfie's opening kill.
Yeah.
Buster gonna have to give us a marked improvement, man. Yakinder was able to do it. Kicker with a little bit more life in him, but those were the 3 players that were down there in the dumps. Yakinder trying to pull him up. Here we go. Outsiders fighting off 15.
I don't think we've seen the best T side from ForZe in terms of ideas, and it's pragmatic. B side is the one they need to go to, and they've won just those 2 kind of really good rounds where they hit it. One on the eco, you'd say that was maybe a little bit luckier. That one right there was just straight targeted with an just insane shot from Shelfie. But it doesn't break the money. There is still a chance for Outsiders to prove that, you know, that won't happen again. And I would say listen, this game is not ending without ForZe going B again. I'll tell you that right now.
Put James in place instead of Yakinder. Free Yakinder up to play middle with the rifle. Oh, nice grenade. That'll help. Incendiary's all over Cat. Kicker goes for the deep frag, and that one, negligible. All the while waiting for some kind of mid-play. Buster going to try to create a pocket here within these 2 smokes. James now feels the pressure, which opens up mid. And there's Yakinder with 1, but Jerry, quick trade, immediate. Kicker takes the place of Yakinder. Jerry's stuck on that corner, couldn't go back because of the fire. So good on Kicker to play it quickly.
Oof, they know. Yeah, they knew it was coming.
And ForZe's players still unable to exit from tunnels. There's James to support Buster up close. A 4 versus 2 for Outsiders. 10 seconds to trickle down, and it feels like poor Jerry got stuck in the position that he didn't want to be.
Yeah, well, they didn't use a lot of nades to support it. Like, they had no mid-B smokes. They wanted to take the dry fight in the CT. They traded 1 for 1, then they didn't cross. They had to do more there. That did not look great. They didn't do deep. They could have done deep CT smoke from long. They could have done deep CT smoke from Cat. They could have done their fake nades on Cat first to set up a play like that, and then gone for the mid-B hit. Sometimes they don't want to smoke, so it's not telegraphed. That's fine. But in that situation, Jerry literally couldn't continue on to help with the split because his 2 teammates have died after the trades came through, and he just had nowhere to go. So they made their bed for them. Definitely was not the best strategy.
3 of 4 here from ForZe.
Comes down to just getting the miraculous entries. But, you know, your Kinder's going to be good for 1.
Man, just when you thought that an Outsiders game wasn't going to go 27 rounds or more.
Yeah.
(12-3) at the halftime. 3 of those rounds in the last 4. And then Outsiders still within that touching distance of ForZe, keeping them close. Kinder looking to challenge. This is a tough one. James, he's stuck on the other side of this. Jerry's looking to go over. Kinder's watching the jump up, but he just turned back around, and it's a second. Oh. Jerry looking for the third, but Kicker closes down on mid. At least he's there to try and recover something. Runs away, because when ForZe get 1 kill, they have flooded positions in these final attempts to close out Dust 2.
Look at how vulnerable A is right now. Kicker has to make some kind of rotation for himself, but Cat is wide open. This could be the bomb plant that wins for ForZe. They're trying to beat the timing on the upper push. Outsiders are making a good pace, however. The thing is, they still don't know if it could be mid-B. They'll finally clear out, start to make the rotation over as Kicker tells them all the nades are coming from Cat. The cross is coming in. A 3-on-4 retake. Are they even going to go for this?
They've got smoke, incendiary, a couple of frags. Molotov doesn't land on its target. Frag grenade as well, does barely anything here, so Flit hasn't set himself up for an easy success. And so instead, they concede. They walk this back, and ForZe will find themselves 3 map points here on Dust 2 because it comes off of the back of a proactive Jerry, jumps over those boxes, and he just, for a second, probably felt haunted from Kinder in those tunnels, but Kinder turned his head, and so Jerry snaps their necks.
Yeah, tons of X factor here, at least for ForZe, you know, where they don't have the cohesion to get them through some of these spots. Jerry making a move like that. We had Zorte coming close to winning a really nice 1v3. Shalfie with those unbelievable kills on the entrances into the B sites. They'll be salty to lose in that fashion. ForZe earning this one. Splash of util damage there as well for Zorte.
Oh, are they going to go for the Buster push?
The Buster push.
Oh, they're just going to smoke this off, and it's only Buster.
Oh.
No early support. They find him in the open, the no man's land, just taken over by ForZe. Kinder gets Jerry. He's going to challenge. He knows that Norby's already crossed, but now he's got 3 players to his left. We've got a CT down through the window. Kicker instantly killed. Norby just tears them up, and Jame in a 1 versus 3 to keep the hopes of Dust 2 alive. Norby is right there. Kenzie tries to cross it. Jame feels the chill of the loss. Oh my god, he peeks onto the bomb, but Shelby ends it. 16-12. They know what they wanted, and that is a broken Buster on a B site with no support on the hold. ForZe 1-0 over Outsiders.
Oof. Yeah, they brought it, man. That was, what a grind. That was an amazing first half, and I would say it's X Factor that made the difference in the second half, but that's also what makes them who they are, man. You know, like, they're not a tier 1 team, of course. They're just trying to get to that position. And the fact that we can look to, like, multiple players, I mean, even Jerry at the end there,
dude,
making a hero play to basically allow them to just have a completely clean execution later on, just shows you how much there is to worry about when it comes to ForZe and how much you have to respect them.
Yeah.
You know, even taking down a team like Outsiders. So really fantastic stuff.
Sick first map, man. 28 rounds. We've got more to come. Mirage, of course, up next. But first, our analysts will unpack that one.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, an attempt at a comeback from Outsiders comes to a bitter end. Let's not forget, this map started off 11-0 in the favor of ForZe. We were talking about Outsiders, one of the worst CT-rated teams in this entire tournament. That was what kept their heads above water throughout this first map.
It was just a weird game from start to finish, let's be completely honest right here. Fantastic performance from ForZe, no doubt about it. They came out swinging, you know, going up 11-0 against a relatively strong Outsiders team. That's impressive, but as you said, Freya, nothing made sense right here. We saw them play against MIBR on the very same map where the CT side was not good, the
T side was fantastic this time around. It was opposite, and yeah, I don't know what to say, man. It was just a weird game, but I guess a classic Outsiders performance.
Outsiders are never really afraid of starting down in the hole. They're always ready to dig themselves out. James always is there, prepared with the extendo ladder, but this time it didn't quite reach. I mean, I'm going to say this. Outsiders in this game, if they got started just 2 rounds earlier, they could have had this. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is in terms of their mentality going into some games. It feels like they're just so okay with kind of being lax about their approach in the beginning. And I think that's something where experienced teams can have that luxury. They can usually bounce back, but this time, obviously not the case.
I just want to give a shout out to Kinder, just you know, to reiterate the whole point about Outsiders coming back into this game. When they were down 11-0, his scoreline was 1-13. We're talking about one of the best riflers in the world, one of the best entry fraggers in the entire world, and he couldn't get anything done. Then from that point on onwards, when Outsiders actually made the comeback, so the scoreline was 12-11, he went on a 17-1 scoreline. You know, it was kind of facilitated by Kinder waking up. But I agree with you. Why does it have to be like this all the time? Why does Outsiders always have to come off to a slow start? It almost doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I like that you do give some props to Yekenda coming into that second half as well, because there were some really key moments from him. I'm just thinking about that little jumping tap onto one of the planters on A side, but it's just like classic Yekenda things, and it was a little bit frustrating. I'm not putting it all on him for that dismal first half from the side of Outsiders, but it was, you know, a little bit disappointing to not see him coming out the gate strong.
I would say that ForZe did a very strong job on their defensive end. I wouldn't. It's hard to just like look at one thing and count.